iTunes, Amazon.
Amazon.
And then they're going to do something with a promo code. If you put promo code BURR in, you get it for $5 on my website.
Oh, do I have that?
You want me to just say it?
What is that thing?
I'm going to take a video at the end.
Of the whole fucking thing?
No.
Just a little bit. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. We're ready to go? All right. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you. Just checking in on you. You're probably thinking, well, Jesus, Bill, you went a little fast on that one. You usually fucking stretch it out a little bit longer. What do you have? A special guest in the studio or something? Why, yes, I do. I have the great Jim Florentine in studio here, who has a new stand-up special coming out that will be available on iTunes and Amazon called A Simple Man. Ladies and gentlemen, New Jersey's own Jim Florentine.
And filmed in New Jersey, of course.
And filmed in New Jersey. So how does the royalty of New Jersey, it's got to go Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi, Jim Florentine. Maybe Artie Lang?
No, Rich Voss.
Rich Voss. How did I forget Rich, the Duke of fucking Trenton, whatever the hell he lives.
South Plainfield.
I heard he had put out a CD I heard was fucking great.
Yeah, the guy's pumping them out like a maniac.
I think that's a great thing, and I love that you're putting it on Amazon. I think the more specials in more areas, so nobody gets too much power, if you know what I mean there.
Yeah,
wink, wink.
Absolutely.
That's
and
good
if
for
you
us.
don't get a good deal somewhere, just like, fuck you, you're not owning it, and all that stuff. So
yes.
I like the new model that's coming out, and basically to own your stuff, that's what I'm hearing through the music industry. Like, if you own Spotify and all those other streaming sites,
Yep.
are basically going to have to pay some big royalties coming soon in like 2-3 years. Just like satellite radio. Before, they weren't paying shit. They were playing
Right.
all our comedy bits, weren't get a dime. Then all of a sudden, when they merged, the government said, well, you have to start paying royalties. They passed along to the consumer, and now you get nice checks from Sound Exchange through, because of the satellite radio and internet radio.
Right.
Well, now the streaming sites, the Spotifys, all of those, are going to have to start paying in about 2 years. So if you own your
That's
shit.
about fucking time.
I know. So if you own your master, if you own the master, and then
Yeah.
you also, you're a performer, you get double checks.
I saw a thing one time. There was, what was that documentary on that heavy metal band that just they came to L.A. like the week before Nirvana's album came out. Nevermind, that just as the legend goes, that was the album that destroyed the whole thing, rather than 50,000 bands all singing the same fucking song. So that failed, and then they moved back to like Indiana or wherever the fuck they were from, and hair metal still survived another 3 years. Then they tried to get into grunge and all this shit, and then they were just old, and they never really made it. And they made this documentary, and at one point towards the end, the biggest lesson in all of it, one of the members said, he goes, what I've learned, he goes, you're better to have 100% ownership and just sell 20,000 copies than you are to have no ownership and sell like 20 million copies. You'll actually make more money if you own it. That's how bad they fucking rip you off. They rip, all of that shit, all the way back to the blues guys and all that, every fucking artist, that's what happens. So it's
And then
nice.
also like those 80s videos with the the goofy, with the hot chick in it, and they were dancing around on stage doing whatever. Those videos were like $500,000 to $1 million, the budgets on those. So that came right off the top of any money they sold.
Oh, yeah.
The record company put that money up. So just to make a good, and it was the same video. It was the guys performing on stage, and it was a hot chick, and he was
starts
chasing
out
her.
in black and white.
Yeah, black.
And when the rest of the band kicks in, all of a sudden it was in color.
Yep.
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
it was the ballad, they looked tired,
Yeah.
It was Bon Jovi on the bus. He looked tired because he was looking out the window and driving.
Now, who was the first? Bon Jovi, because you also do that metal show. So that was about 86 when that album came out. And that video was maybe 87?
Somewhere around there. I think New Jersey was his big record, came out like 84, 85.
I thought Slippery When Wet. How old are we
Slippery
right now?
When Wet was probably, I think, 84.
No, that was like 85, 86.
Okay, yeah, somewhere around there. And then New Jersey came out after that. But Slippery When Wet is You Give Love a Bad Name,
Yes.
Wanted Dead or Alive.
All of that shit. But
Yeah,
I'm
all that
saying,
shit.
did they start the I'm Tired on the Tour bus?
No, Journey did. Remember Journey with Steve Perry had that bad mustache in Faithfully?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember he had the mustache? Yeah, that started the original I'm tired, I'm on tour, and I'm exhausted.
What about when he was at that San Francisco Giant game, they started playing the Journey song, and all he had to do was smile and wave, and then he acted like somebody he acted like someone who was just a fan of the band rather than the guy singing it, and he just went over the fucking top with it. And I just felt like it was a moment that, I don't know if he's not selling tickets or whatever. It's like he should have just played that cool, and he tried to be too regular, and then everybody just eviscerated him on the fucking internet. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, oh yeah, because I've seen him at Giant. I'm a big Giant fan, so I'll go out there, and I've seen him at games. He goes to like every game with his kids. He can't hit those notes anymore, so he knows I'm just laying low. Let the Asian guy take over and do it. You know, he's just collecting the royalties off of
Oh, there
all
you
that
go.
stuff. Yeah, so he doesn't need to do any of that stuff. He doesn't care. Yeah, he could have been back in Journey 10 years ago, but he's just like, I'm not going to embarrass myself.
That's a smart move. So I'll just do it once at a baseball game.
Yeah, like Robert Plant. Robert Plant knows he ain't hitting those. He knows he's not going to hit those notes. You know what
They tuned down a little. He sounded great in 2007.
I know he sounded amazing. You know what? They got offered $14 million for two-hour shows for that thing in the desert. What was the thing? A couple months ago.
Yeah.
They got $14 million for two-hour shows, and Robert Plant turned it to everybody else in Zeppelin's like, of course, and he said no.
Yeah, I think he bought a bunch of apartment buildings is what he did, so he's making all this fucking money. That's
Plant?
what I heard. Yeah, I heard he's a really good businessman.
But why can't he just come out and go, look, this isn't going to be like 1976. I'm not going to be able to hit all the notes, but I'm going to go hang with my friends. We're going to jam, have a good time, and don't expect much. If you throw that...
I have to be honest with you. I think he's protecting the legacy of the band by not doing it. I mean, I think they did that last one. I don't think they could do it better than they did it in 07. And he's always said, if you're just, if this is just a money grab, been there, done that. What does he say? I'm just an old hippie, blah, blah, blah. Like, he just doesn't see the reason to do it. Now, what I would do if I was the rest of them, I'd get Jason Bonham on drums, John Paul Jones, and Jimmy Page, and I would do what Journey did, and who gives a fuck?
Well, they tried to do that after first of all, Page and Plant don't get along at all. Like when they were rehearsing for that 2007 show, Jason Bonham told the story on that metal show when he was on, they were at each other's throats, Page and Plant. They just don't like each other. I think it's more a Plant, So after that, they were hoping they were going to do a reunion, and Plant said once again, nope, I'm not doing it. So they actually auditioned Steven Tyler, Sammy Hagar.
Oh, that's right.
And Miles Kennedy had the gig. Miles is from Alter Bridge and Slash a solo singer. He had the gig, and they were ready to do it, and then they just said, you know what, we can't. Let's just put it to the side. We can't do that. We're not going to sell this as Led Zeppelin.
Oh, my God.
So it was close, but Miles Kennedy out of nowhere got that gig. But Steven Tyler...
Am I hearing something in my headphones?
Yeah, it's the alarm over there.
Oh, it's the alarm. Yeah. Should we be concerned about the alarm?
Keep going. I got it.
Is it a fire?
No. I'll run out there right now.
How do you know what it is?
It happens all the time.
Oh.
There's a door right here.
Oh. One of these times it's going to be an actual fire.
It's like when you're in a club and you're hitting on a hot chick and you hear the alarm go, you're like, I don't give a shit, I ain't leaving. If I leave it, there's 9 guys ready to take my spot. So I don't. If there's a fire, I'll
one of
deal
those
with it.
9 just pulled it too.
Absolutely, to get me away from her. So I understand Plant's thing where he doesn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to do it for the guy's probably worth $300 million. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't need to do it at this point. You just wish as a fan, maybe just a few shows.
Yeah, because you know what I like when Jason played in 2007, I thought he was finally himself, where he was like, he didn't feel like he had to do what his dad did, but he was he threw in so much shit. A lot of it was some of the stuff that his dad did live, but like his personality was on it. I thought he really fucking owned it on that one. So I was kind of psyched to see them go around. It's probably better. It's probably better that they don't do it because, it didn't work well. I remember that Live Aid when they had the 2 fucking drummers and shit, and that was only 5 years after they had played. But I heard Page was so fucking upset that he didn't play guitar for a while after Bonham died, like to the point he had to try to remember how to fucking play.
That's right, because then the story was Paul Rogers came over one day and was just hanging like 3-4 years later and said, hey, dude, you can pick up the guitar. Let's see if we can write some songs. And they started The Firm after that.
Yeah, so why doesn't he just why don't they just come up with a new name and just still do Zeppelin shit, play some Firm stuff? The fucking Jimmy Page project with John Paul Jones and fucking...
I know what Jason... Well, remember when Page was so pissed off at Robert Plant that he got David Coverdale and did the Coverdale Page? They did one album because Coverdale...
Chris Robinson, they went out with him?
Yeah, Robert Plant hated
Crowes.
David Coverdale because he thought he was a Led Zeppelin, just a Robert Plant clone. He looked like him, sounded like him. Mm-hmm. And then Page goes, I'm going to get your arch enemy and we're going to start our own band. What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, I think that'll do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it definitely didn't
You
help.
get the guy 10 years younger that can still hit the fucking notes.
Well, Van Halen pulled it off because remember Sammy and Dave did that tour, the Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth tour together. They hated each other because the Van Halens weren't talking to either. And then right after that tour, they got back with Sammy. So I guess Van Halen's like, what are they? They're selling out arenas. We should be doing this. And they put Sammy back in the band.
Sammy's back in the band now.
No, this was a while ago. But Sammy and Dave, because the Van Halen brothers were just blowing them off, they go, okay, the two old singers of Van Halen, let's do a tour together. And they did a tour, and they hated each other that whole tour. Because one was
Sammy and Dave hated each other?
Yeah, they hated each other since day one, but they just did it for the tour, and they were supposed to like rotate headlining every night. And Sammy was trying to blow him off the stage, and then Dave was, and it was all the egos and all the shit. So
I would think Sammy would win, though. Did he win?
probably, but Dave was still a voice of Van Halen. I'd rather hear, Out of
Right.
Love Again and, Mean Street than Is This Love?
Yeah, I always thought Sammy Hagar, when you look at his... I was just talking about this on my last podcast. This is such like fucking white guys in their 40s talk here.
I know.
I always thought he shouldn't have fucking joined the band. There was no upside where it was like, you're not going to follow Dave. You're not going to be like... it's just one of those things. Like, why would you go there? It was like Steve Young going after fucking Joe Montana. No matter what the fuck he did, he was always going to be not Joe Montana. And even though I won one, get the monkey off my back or whatever, I thought he should have just stayed with his own fucking band. I mean, the guy was incredible. Voice, live, and all that. I like the direction of his solo shit. Before that, Is This Love? And they're the keyboards, and they were all walking around in the fucking flesh-colored flash dance suits, whatever the hell they were wearing.
Yeah. He had a great solo career before he joined. I know he really didn't have to. I don't think he really thought it was going to take off. I don't know. They just said, let's start jamming. But Van Halen actually got bigger at that point. They sold more records with Sammy.
Oh,
but that was the MTV days, more like Dave was like the last of the, Panama and Jump and stuff like that. But then when Van Halen, like 86 is when they put their first one out with Sammy, they had all the videos and stuff like that. So they sold a lot more records than Dave.
All right, let's try to bring this back into like this century. So
Yeah.
people could listen. All right, you want to hear something fucking hilarious that happened to me the other night? So a buddy of mine passed away, right? We're at that age, people fucking die. And so we did a benefit for him. So I got all these fucking comics together. There was a guy I did stand up with from 92 to 99, this guy Pete Cummins, just a great guy. And then he became a writer and did all these wonderful things and unfortunately had a heart attack and died. So I got all of his buddies from fucking back in the day. Like
Boston?
Yeah, Boston guys. Right. Like, some guys who are like not doing stand-up really anymore. And we all fucking came out. It was hilarious. We're all standing around fucking dad jeans and bad hairlines and shit. And I'm looking around going like, wow, man, we are fucking old before the show. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, this crowd looks kind of young. I hope this is going to go all right. And it went perfect night. Except for one fucking dude, but he was on some medication. He was drinking Bud Lights. He repeated a couple of jokes. It was fucking hilarious. He had one guy had a tough set. So I was on stage and, I was making fun of fat actresses complaining and shit, and then I was just going, I mean, look at me, I'm a bald redheaded male. You don't think there's a glass ceiling on the parts I can get out here, and shit like that, right? So at the end of my set, I'm doing the meet and greet, and this guy came up to me, didn't even want to like picture or anything. He had one of those before and after fucking hair club for men cards. I guess he did it. He goes, dude, I could get you your hair back if you want it. And it was the guy was like bald like me and then had like the fucking...
Oh, really?
And I was just like, I said to him, I'm like, no, man, I'm good. And he kept fucking showing it to me. And I finally was just like, dude, I like the way I look. I don't need that wavy shit, right? And he just fucking put his head down and he walked out like a scolded child. I felt like a fucking asshole. Yeah, I don't need that fucking wave.
Yeah, well, at some point you're like, yeah, thanks, man, but I'm good. Like you give them that, but then when they keep pounding away...
Well, it's one of those things, dude. I had hair at one point. I saw what it got me. Okay, like I always said, if I was going to be the next Brad Pitt, it would have happened before. Like, oh,
right.
You had to wait till you were 48. Oh, if you only had fucking hair, it's like, no, dude. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and then you can't put it on now. Everybody knows. You had to do it in that transition stage where you were losing a little, but I was like, did he do something with his hair? You can't.
Dude, there's so many guys. There were so many guys hanging off the fucking ledge and all of a sudden pulled themselves back up. Like, there's so many fucking guys. I just didn't give a shit. Like there's certain point of like, you just gotta, you just play the hand you dealt. You're going to look way fucking better. Although some people that I know, they got some really good ones, but, I don't know. I don't get, dude. I wouldn't even do that laser eye surgery.
Yeah, I won't do that either.
I'm waiting till like 100% you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of cases of guys foggy and he can't see and
then
it's
they
messed
say
up his vision.
if you're over fucking 45, it only lasts for this amount of years, and then what, you're gonna do it again? Fuck that.
I know when they're operating on your eyes.
Yeah,
no
you're
fucking way.
fucking sitting there looking at it as they're doing it. That's too much. So,
But you did the right thing with that guy. You said, "Nah, I'm good," and then he kept pounding away. Some guy
no,
wanted.
I laughed. I thought it was
Right.
It was fucking hilarious.
And then when you said, "Dude, I'm good," and
I'm
he
good.
walked
I
away.
thought I was just like, dude, I don't need that wavy shit, because it's always the guy with the wavy fucking hair. It's never anybody with like looking like those guys in was it Oasis? They never have that Beatles
Yeah.
haircut. It's always the fucking wavy. And I was just like, yeah, dude, I'm good. And then he just kind of put his.
That happened to me. Some guy wanted me to do the Ohio thing. It was Ohio State. I'm not a big college football fan. When I do
Yeah.
OHI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a gig there. He's like, "Dude, my friend's going to Snapchat this. Can you do this with me?" I go, "No."
Oh,
He goes,
yeah.
I go, "First of all, you're on fucking Snapchat and you're like 40 years old. You shouldn't be on Snapchat." And second of all, I'm not doing that. That's fucking corny. He's like, "Come on, man." I go, "No, I'm not doing it. I'll take a picture with you. I'll do whatever. But I'm not doing OHIO."
No, it gets weird with that shit. Like, there was someone in a line last night, like, guy, like 8 people back, and he's FaceTiming with his friend, and he's got his friend's head pointing at me. I'm looking at this person from like 30 yards away on a phone, looking at me. I just kept yelling to the guy, just going, "Sir, I'm not going to talk to that guy. Just shut your fucking phone off." And he wasn't listening to it. I was like, "Can you tell that psycho back there with his friend on the phone? I'm not, it's bad enough when somebody just hands you a fucking phone. Hey, can you say hello to my friend that fucking," you know what I started doing? I just channeled Patrice. I would just start hanging up on him.
You just go right, just hang it up.
I had a relative of mine who kept doing it. He used to call, he's called, it's one of these guys I talk to like once or twice a year. "Hey, Bill, how you doing? Blah, blah. Hey, I'm in your hometown. You remember so-and-so?" And he would just hand the phone to him. And the person on the other end didn't want to talk to me either.
Right.
And it was just the worst fucking thing. So I would go, "Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't." And he would hand it to me. And and then I just started fucking hanging up. And it just stopped it. And he got so fucking mad at me. It was just like, "Dude, I'm asking you not to fucking do this. And you're still doing it. You're leaving me no choice here."
Yeah.
And then he tried, "Oh, what do you think? You're too good for that?" Yeah. You're too good. Everybody's too good for that.
Right, exactly.
You want to talk to a complete fucking stranger who doesn't want to talk to you on a phone?
Well, people used to do that to me. Like, "Hey, say hello to my friend." I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" "This isn't Jim Florentine." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." He goes, "What are you doing in St. Louis?" I go, "I'm doing a gig." "There's no way. There's no way you're in St." I'm like, "All right." I go, "I'm not going to argue with you. Here, take the fucking phone back. I'm not arguing with you. Go to my website. I'm at the fucking Funny Bone. Whatever. Who gives a shit?"
No, it never fucking ends well. But anyways, how's your? I know your team. Don't tell me the Dolphins.
I just went to the Dolphin-Raven game last week in Baltimore. They got their ass kicked.
Yeah, Ravens are always tough, man.
The Dolphins never play good against physical teams. Never. They're not a physical team. They get pushed around.
They got that in Ndamukong Suh there.
Yeah, he's good because he gets double and triple teamed, and other guys can get sacks. But they're just not a good physical team. They just, Tannehill. They had some guys on the offensive line. They're 7-5, so I can't complain. I didn't think they were going to be that good. Yeah, this new coach, I think he's pretty good.
What are the Bills at?
Bills are 6-6.
I love it.
They're out. They cannot make the playoffs. You got to go at least 10-6, 11-5, just to get a wild card this year. So they're out once again.
I think Rex Ryan should just go back to being a defensive coordinator. He'd get a Super Bowl ring.
No, I know. He's got too much of an ego, and he's got his brother there. What did his brother's making fun? In New Orleans, they didn't let me do what I wanted to do. Really? You had the worst defense in the history of the NFL for 2 years in a row, and you're trashing them on the way out.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah. He's been a coach for like 12 years, Rob Ryan. One of his teams made the playoffs once, and they got knocked out the first game. It was New Orleans against Seattle a couple of years ago. Other than that, never even made a playoff.
Did Rob's been a head coach?
No, he's never been a defensive coordinator. He's with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He's with the Raiders. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, and I think Rex does most of the heavy lifting because he always has good defenses, but now he actually has a decent quarterback. He just doesn't have anybody to fucking throw to. And Tyrod Taylor, you cannot sack that guy.
It's unbelievable.
He's fucking amazing.
I know. He's constantly getting out of the way. But, and then the Dolphins, they gave us Mario Williams. Mario Williams, they got released, and he's terrible. I don't know what happened to that dude. He's on Miami now. He's got like 2 tackles the whole year. Ugh. So Buffalo knew to get rid of him. But, yeah, Buffalo's out again. There'll be 17 years, no playoffs.
But they're better. They're better than they were. I mean,
But
I don't,
Rex goes in and just sells his, does his whole bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to lose. Really? Wow.
I know. I didn't go there to kiss his rings.
Yeah. I'm here to make the playoffs. Oh, that's good. Good to know.
You know what I love this week was Brian Cashman said after the Red Sox, I guess, signed some deals or something. He said, he just went, wow. He goes, they're like the Golden State Warriors. And I fucking died laughing like, dude, the fucking, talk about the, how would that expression, the pot calling the kettle black. You fucking assholes, you invented that shit. How the fuck are you going to sit there and say, like, he should have been like, wow, those guys are ripping us off. Just because the last few years, well, it's basically since George Steinbrenner died.
Yeah.
The son's way more conservative and is trying to do it with the farm system, which I respect and I love. But Brian Cashman was part of that.
Oh, of course.
He's like a fucking free agency war criminal, and now he's fucking wagging his finger at the fucking Red Sox for doing what they did. Now, having said that, I it's the thing that turned me off about baseball, and I felt the Red Sox in 07 became the Yankees, when they signed all those people. So it's been difficult for me to get back into it, but I guess.
But also, you got to realize yesterday the Yankees signed Chapman, the closer, 4 years, $86 million for a closer.
And where did he play again?
Remember, he was with the Reds. I mean, he was with the Yankees last year. They traded him at the trading deadline to the Cubs.
Oh, that's right.
He won the World Series with. He throws 105 miles an hour. He went to the Cubs. He was a free agent. The Yankees just re-signed him, got him back. 4 years, $86 million.
But he was there. But he was one of their guys, though.
Who? Chapman?
Yeah.
Chapman was originally with the Reds. He got in some trouble off the field, and the Yankees got him and for half a season, traded him to the Cubs.
Fucking Reds. What kind of trouble does somebody get into that you fucking trade away a 105-mile-an-hour pitcher?
I know.
He just didn't. He didn't exude the what we like to give to our. What do they say? The persona of our team.
Yeah.
We have a code. We have a code here in Cincinnati. Why don't you throw it out the fucking window? The guy's throwing 105 miles an hour.
Exactly. Let him do what he wants.
Yeah, he's gonna grab some titties at a fucking Hooters. You know what's funny? As I was saying that, I was like, is now that going to be a thing? The fucking internet now. Was he advocating sexual assault? That happens now. Every little fucking.
Oh,
thing
yeah,
you say.
absolutely. Yeah, this like I didn't look at this special I filmed like a little over a year ago, or a year and a half actually. It's been, and there's stuff on there that I had to look back. I was trying to do a trailer, and I'm like, holy shit, I said that. I go, it's probably what I said a year and a half ago. Was like, I can't believe he said that.
Right. And how quickly it goes. Where did you film it in?
George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's right down the street from the Stress Factory.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's like a 600-seat theater.
Was Vinny upset?
No, Vinny helped promote it. I had to get him. I had to work him in.
He had to wet his beak.
Yeah, absolutely, because Vinny runs that town.
That fucking guy, man.
And he was going to do a set. He was going to open the show and do 10 minutes to warm up the crowd. Of course, he was late, and he didn't.
Oh,
so he didn't even, yeah, I'm sorry.
I would have broke
his
his balls. I would have been like, Vinny, I'm trying to have a good special here.
I know. I had a backup just in case. So, but yeah, so I cut Vinny in on it, basically. They sold tickets to the Stress Factory, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you kept everything.
Yeah, we're friends. We started comedy back together years ago.
What year did you guys start?
I started in 91.
Oh, I started in 92. So he started in 91 too?
Yeah, 91.
And he was probably already married with like 19 kids.
Oh, yeah, he was married with like 3 kids. He owned a florist. He was a fucking maniac. I was booking like this open mic thing on a Monday night at a strip club.
I remember when I met him in the mid-90s, he was such an angry man. He was, you could feel it off of him. He was going through that first go around. And then he's just become the exact opposite. Now he's like fucking Santa Claus. He used to just, like, in the 90s, dude, and I was an angry, fucked up dude. So every once in a while, I would meet someone who matched my anger or surpassed it, and I was always just like, all right, I'm not going to fuck with that guy. Like, we have a running joke, me and Opie, from Opie and Anthony, and whatever the fuck they're calling it now. We recognized both of us were like this fucking level of anger, and just how everybody got thrown under the bus on that show, and eventually it was argument. I had a big argument with Patrice on that show, and we both. I think he was the one who brought it up. He was like, dude, the first time I met you, I sensed this fucking anger in you. He was like, I'm going to stay away from that. I was like, dude, that's what the fuck I was. Because if you listen to his show, you'll never find a clip of us. It will be everybody trashing everybody. We never lob one at each other. I don't know what. There was just something about the guy. I'm like, this guy's like, he might be even angrier than I am. So I just completely stayed away from
Yeah,
him.
no, that's a good move. No, Vinny was very angry. I remember this comic because Vinny had the comedy club like in '94. He had this Stress Factor. It was in another spot, it's in a hotel or whatever. And my friend, this guy Eric McMahon, a local comic, I go, he books it. Go give him your card. And he goes, hey, I'm a comedian. I live in New Jersey. He goes, I love to do your club. Here's my card. And he goes, this is your card? He goes, yeah. And it was a nice card. Had his headshot on it. Vinny just ripped it up right in front of him and just walked away.
Why?
And then he just saw, and then he came back and thought it was funny. And the other dude was so pissed at him. He's like, what a fucking asshole. You know, and shit like that. And that's just the way Vinny was. Just a complete ballbuster.
If he was just fucking around, that's hilarious.
I don't know if he was or not. But yeah, he was angry. That's why I liked him. I loved angry dudes.
Well, you know, when the first time I did the Stress Factory, I worked with Artie Fletcher. Remember him?
Yeah, he's still a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Well, he tells everybody we are.
So he's in Florida now?
Yeah, he's in Florida, St. Pete, yeah.
So we worked together, and, you know, of course I didn't draw anybody. Like, Vinny was giving me a shot, and I made fun of the club. And I was this no-name comic, and I think because I didn't realize he built most of it at the time. Now it's a really nice club. You remember when he first opened it? I mean, it was a dump. So I fucking made fun of it, and but I still killed. And making fun of the club was killing and all that. And then I remember he called my manager at the time, just being like, "Yeah, you know, you didn't get the job done." He didn't get the job done, and he fucking wouldn't. He didn't work me for like 7 years after that, and I don't think he fucking worked me until after Opie and Anthony. Maybe a little before that, he started to work me.
Was that when it was in the hotel? Because he used to have it in a hotel before he moved it to the... Okay.
It's the same spot.
I helped paint that place when he moved it over there.
I was there when it was. He couldn't have been over there more than two, 3 fucking years. He had the creepy bicycle hanging from the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
And that stage was fucked up. It was. I can't remember, but it was a dump. But then what happened over the years? Then he redid the floor. He got the smoke eater, and all of a sudden it was amazing. It went from like this fucking D-level room to now like that's a place. I love that place.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite clubs.
Vinny probably wishes I got to that part sooner in that fucking story because he's probably calling you're fucking trashing the club on the goddamn podcast or whatever.
He is normal now. Like he's on the committee. He was running for council in his town and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's evolved.
Yeah.
It's funny though. When you get to be our age, like one of two things happens: either you fucking evolve, you chill out, and you learn how to like enjoy life, or you are literally the exact same fucking person you were when whatever. I see people either way. They become dads or whatever. They just changed. They've mellowed. They're not as angry. They're happy. Blah blah blah. Or they are literally the exact same fucking person they were when I met them in the '90s.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that guy. I know that. Like when I got married and had a kid and moved to the suburbs, I'm like, man, I'm going to be having to talk to neighbors and hang out with them and talk fucking, school districts. And then I got to go basketball camp and sit next to them at Chuck E. Cheese. And I love doing that. I love hanging out with my more normal neighbors. We walk our kids to the bus stop every day. We hang. I go over there. They come over to my house. It's fucking great. Yeah. I love being around other parents and stuff like that. I thought, this is going to be a nightmare.
I wish I knew when I was younger that was, that actually I would think helps your comedy. Because I always thought like, when we were coming up, you just thought, oh my God, you get married and have a kid, that's it. It's fucking over.
Yeah, your career's over.
Yeah, you're not going to make it. That's what always cracks me up when they talk about like the pressure like women have becoming pregnant. Like how do I keep the career and blah, 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 blah. And I understand that in the real world, but like in show business, I think everybody, man or woman, if you're on the performer side, it's just like, I'm fucking done. You just feel like I have to be at a certain level of selling tickets for my wife to still believe in me. Because if you're still like, not selling tickets, they're going to be like, you're doing this comedy thing on the weekend. I need a solid paycheck. Yeah. I need to know that there's money coming in. Like, how many fucking guys did you see, though, that kid just fucking took them right down to the mat?
A ton, man. When I first started, I remember Ray Romano was married with 2 kids at the time. I'm like, how can he juggle both? I never knew how he could do that. Yeah. I'm like, how could he be funny and have a family life and shit like that? And I always thought there's no way I can have that. I probably would have screwed it up in my 20s and 30s. But once I got to my 40s, I'm like, all right, I could do this.
I absolutely would have fucked it up.
Yeah,
I would have been a fucking lunatic. And, I think there's a reason I waited so. I mean, most of it was fear, but a lot of it was I was a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, same with me. I'm like, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to fuck some girl on the road I shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? As you get older, like that shit doesn't even, it's not even part of the equation when you
have a bad set, you take it home with you. Take it out on your fucking
absolutely,
family.
yeah.
Maybe if you didn't have me fucking doing the dishes all the time.
I know. If you would have let me take a nap. And I had to watch the kid. I had to work that night. Yeah, all that shit. So
no, when I look back to all the fucking shit that I went through that I really did not have to go through, and that's why Verzi cracks me up. You know Paul Verzi?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I just was like, dude, where the fuck were you? I wish there was a version of you my age. Maybe there was. I just didn't pay attention. Like he has the most fucking normal life. Like, and then he just goes on the road, as a comedian. Then he comes home like completely fucking normal. And like he's like an 80-year-old man in like a 35-year-old body, and like he has like comics over, and they always say that like younger comics like his fucking age are always going over, like going like, wow, dude, so you just like you got a wife, couple kids, and she's cool with you going out, and you're like, yeah, I was doing stand up when I met her, and blah 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 blah. So I always think like whenever I look at the way I always tell him, because I always go, dude, you're fucking doing it right.
No, absolutely,
totally doing it. You did it. He's doing like that's the way Ray Romano did it. Ray Romano got married at the regular age, started a family at the regular fucking age, and all of that, and still hit. And what's great too is he got in before Seinfeld hit that big payday on the syndication,
right?
Because I have a theory that after they had to pay Seinfeld, that Hollywood all got together and was like, how the fuck do we owe a stand-up comedian $500 million? How does this deal work?
Right.
Never give this deal out again. Well, Ray Romano still has it. Well, he's the last one, because that was it. Nobody ever got I don't think anybody's gotten the created by. It was a combination of the created by, a performer, a producer, and a writer check. He pulled those 4 fucking checks off the same goddamn show. And then there wasn't the influence of the internet,
right,
and video games and all this shit. I've been making fun of those fucking virtual reality, that thing. You put the phone up to the glasses.
Yeah.
And the level with which people are freaking out. Like, oh my God, oh, like you don't know you're still in your living room.
Right.
Like I fucking that's right up there with the people when they're blindfolded and they're feeding them Olive Garden. And and
they can't tell.
Oh my God, it's so decadent. It's like Olive Garden. It's like a 7th grader can make pasta like that.
Yeah. And the only people that eat at Olive Garden, it's right outside of a hotel, and you have no choice. It's business people. You don't have a car, and you have to walk.
Dude, when I was broke, I used to, and I loved it because they kept bringing the bread and would just fill you up.
Absolutely.
Some more bread. I fucking loved it.
I know. Like, good. Man, I gotta wait till eat to the club at 8:00. So if I eat at 2, I'll fill up till 8, and then I get a free meal at the club.
Yeah, that was a long time. That was a classy place to bring a date for me. They had wine.
Yeah.
Come on, you want another glass of wine? Here we go. Little angel hair pasta.
Yeah.
Watching your weight. So when does this special come out?
Friday, December 9th.
Friday, December 9th, which is tomorrow. I guess, I don't know, nowadays, the way people listen to podcasts. And we're going to have a link. Do we have a link that I can text out here? Do we have anything? Bueller? Okay, can I have it so I can say it? Jesus Christ. I know we didn't plan this, so this isn't on you. I'm just saying. All right, this is the level of professionalism that I have on my my podcast. Well, you got any road dates? Is there anything you want to plug coming up?
Nah, I'm doing a stand in New York City New Year's Eve.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that club.
Yeah, that's a fucking great club.
Oh, it's great.
It's like the Cellar 2.0.
Yeah, it's just you go down there, man. It's like sometimes it's 10 people on a Thursday, which is fucking beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And just do it, and just record your sets and work it out. I love playing that place. And Bennington's going to host that night. Ron Bennington, he's doing stand up again. Yeah, so he's the host that night.
I didn't even know he did stand up.
I guess he did it back in the day. I guess he had a club down in Florida when he was on. I don't know. I don't remember this, but that's what they were saying. And then I did this thing with Bobby Kelly called Creeps with Kids. It was me and a bunch of other comics who had kids, and we did a whole show. And Bennington hosted and did stand up on it a couple months ago.
Creeps with Kids.
Yeah, Creeps with Kids. Yeah, he wants to take that around the country.
I did one of his Ron Bennington, whatever the fuck he called it.
The Unmasked.
Yeah, I was going to say exposed. He just flashed the crowd. Yeah, he's a fucking great interviewer and all of that. I had no idea he did stand up. I would love to see it because he's funny as fucking hell.
He's great, man.
Ron and Fez, they don't do that shit anymore?
No, Fez. I don't know. Fez just basically just quit, or
he did the Robert Plant.
Yeah, he just said, we peaked. I'm done.
He had his $14 million or whatever the fuck he had.
Yeah, so Ron does it with his daughter.
Oh, all right. I got to get back east, dude. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, it's every week it's something different. Opie's on in the afternoon now. Jim's on in the morning with Sam Roberts, and Opie and Anthony are talking again. You know.
I know. I see. I'm wondering now is if they ever do if they ever have like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, how backstage, how weird it must be with those bands that had all the problems and then they got to walk out together. Mm-hmm. Like if there's ever like a Radio Hall of Fame, at some point they got to bring Opie and Anthony and Jimmy.
I know.
So they all got to be there. I'm hoping they get back together. I think enough time has gone. I don't know if enough time has gone by, but I don't know.
I think they will at some point. I think
It
I think
makes
Opie and
sense.
Anthony at least will, and then hopefully Jim. Hopefully he'll be the trio back.
Why can't they do like the Mike and the Mechanics thing, where you just go out and you fucking do a couple of solo records, then you reform as Genesis?
I know.
I guess that doesn't work with radio. You got to kind of. You can't just do a fucking. Hey, we're going to be Opie and Anthony for 6 months.
Yeah, and
like
then,
you're doing a
I'm going to
tour.
do my
Yeah.
side project.
I never had a good head for business. How did you deal with the election? Were you one of those people crying when you saw Hillary didn't break through that final glass ceiling?
No, not at all.
Did you watch it at all?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I fell asleep around 1:30. And then I was down at Disney World with my kid, and then everyone was crying the next day at Disney, What am I going to tell my kids? When I woke up, I go, Trump won. He goes, oh, okay. That's what I told him.
Yeah, but I don't. This always happens. It always happens. Like I remember after Bush, it was just fuck anybody wearing a red tie was everybody, and all the blue guys came in. Right, same bullshit happens. Right, same fucking bullshit. They forgive the banks. Still got Guantanamo. We're not ending the fucking war.
Yeah, both wars.
No, none of the fucking bankers go to jail. And then it's like, hey, it's the blue guy tie fault. Nothing but red ties. like this is going to be. I have to tell you, what was fucking hilarious was out of all the celebrities, and there was so many of them just, campaigning, which is so fucked up to me because I'm old enough to remember where you didn't tell anybody who you voted for. And I think that they actually, hurt the camp. It's just so weird. Like, why would I listen to an actor tell me?
I know, Jay-Z, like, even if I'm a Jay-Z fan, I'm like, who is he voting for? Okay, I'll vote for him.
Like, he pays attention. That fucking guy trying to keep his fucking $1 billion business going. That, like, he has the fucking time. I don't have the time, and I'm not doing shit.
Right.
I don't have time to keep up on it. So, but the funny one I just saw recently was Scott Baio, who I love. The most, like, that Make America Great Again?
Yeah.
I just loved how vague it was. Let's make America great again. And so he goes out, I guess, at the Republican National Convention. Scott fucking Baio's there. Why? To match whoever the fuck the blue guys have? So he goes out there, and this is what he said. He goes, we're here not only to make America great again, but more importantly, make America again. And he got a fucking applause break. Like, what the fuck is...
Yeah, what does that mean?
Let's make toast again. What does that mean? Don't put butter on it?
Yeah.
Just toast the thing? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Now you can read all the way into it. That means, like, let's make it all for fucking white people only again.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I can tell, it really still kind of is. For as much... As much as the people on the red tie side are complaining, it's still pretty great for fucking white people. I don't know what their problem is. I think it's other white people with all different types of ties working in banks fucking them over. And for some reason, they I don't know what they think it's a taxi driver. I have no fucking idea. But, like, make America again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Hillary stuff, people like, how can women not voted for Trump? Like, why would a woman vote for Trump after all that stuff came out on grabbing the pussy and all that stuff? It's like, okay, every girl that voted for fucking Trump knows 4 guys that talk exactly like him. They've known him since high school. They've known him since grade. And they're over every Sunday for football. They're over for Thanksgiving. And they're going to a New Year's Eve party. They all know that guy. They don't hate him. They still hang around with him.
That's how I felt until all those women came forward, and I was like, all right, maybe the Hillary campaign paid him, until that one said, the one lady goes, he started hitting on her, cornered and started hitting on her, and she goes, oh, come on, get real, because he's so fucking old, which is hilarious, which is exactly like what kind of fantasy you live in that I'm so pathetic I'd hook up with a fucking skeleton like you. So she goes, get real, and then she goes, he then he had his hands in his pocket or something, thrusted his genitals toward me and said, "Get real." And it was just so fucking the detail of it. I was in the car with my wife, and I was like, "Oh my!" I was like, "That happened."
Yeah,
that definitely fucking happened.
Oh yeah. He's been doing that stuff for a long time, but whatever. But the women had no problem with what Trump said. All of that stuff. He said, grabbing the pussy. He was a pig. He did all of that. And none of them that didn't factor anyone's decision. Like I know 6 creeps just like that. That talk the same way.
I think
my husband talks that way.
But I feel like if you're a woman and your pussy isn't going to be near enough Trump to be grabbed, if he's going to give you a tax cut, I think you're going to go with it. You're like, I don't approve. People do what's good for them. That's how they vote. Like I would sit there and hey, this guy's people yelling N-word at the rally. Like, yeah, I'm not into that, but Hillary, blah, blah. So it's like, so you don't care. Like most white people do not give a shit about racism because it doesn't affect them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the kind of thing I would love to say back in the day on Opie and Anthony. And then they would talk about affirmative action. These white kids can't get into fucking school. It's like, dude, if you can't beat out the inner city kid who probably had fucking shittier books 20 times, you shouldn't be fucking going there. That's like when people out here, they'll run into a bad club owner out here. Be like, fucking LA's not working out for me. It's like, dude, if you can't if you don't make it in this business because of one fucking club owner or something like that, then I mean, what?
Yeah, who gives a shit about that?
Yeah, it's just like there's a zillion fucking clubs, there's a zillion doors to get through. If you're just going to give this one person all of this fucking power.
It's the same thing like, in the city, New York City, there's 11 clubs that do comedy every night. I tell young comics, just get in 1 or 2. Don't worry about the other 9, and then eventually you'll get them in. Who cares that Dangerfield said you're not right for the room? Who's right for that room? Nobody is. Nobody's right for that room. Don't take that personally. Go work at the fucking stand or Stand Up New York. You'll do better there anyway.
I did a pop-in spot there about a year ago
at Dangerfield.
Oh, and it was like it was literally like no time had gone by. In that nothing had changed there. Obviously, different faces. Chario's still a waiter there, as far as I know. And I fucking went up in front of this crowd and just fucking ate it. Ate it like I was a fucking 3 years into the business. Just went up there. They finally fixed the sound. Do you remember at that club, the fucking reverb was cranked up so fucking high for like fucking 8 years. And there was this little mixer up there. And it was all somebody had to do was just fucking fade something up or down or turn a knob. And nobody did it for 8 years. I just remember if you did a bit that was loud and it bombed, how there would be that fucking echo. Yeah. Like when Dean Martin would sing at Capitol Records, it had like that fucking echo thing going on, and it made it like it's almost like it bombed twice because they got to hear the echo of whatever they didn't fucking laugh at. But dude, I haven't done the clubs back then, and so I've been out here for a while.
Well, that room was, they don't tell you what the cover charge is. A kid comes in, 22 years old, with his girlfriend, some chick he's trying to bang. Yeah, let's go to Dangerfield, Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah, and come on in, come on, sit down. The cover charge is like $19. This is like in 1995. Like 19 a head, and the drinks are like $19, and it's a 2-drink minimum. So the comedian's up there, and all of a sudden he's like, let's get out of here. This sucks because nobody's laughing. You're in the pitch black dark. You can't see a fucking thing in front of you. And then the 19-year-old kid that's trying to bang this chick gets a check for like $102. He's been in the club for 30 minutes. Well, $102, and you just hear screaming in the back. You got to pay. Well, I didn't know it cost $19 to get in. $19. They don't tell you anything. Nothing's posted.
Oh God!
And then they do, if you're going to
still a great club though. It's a great club.
No, absolutely.
Check it out. I don't want to shit on all these.
No. It is for a and especially in New York City where you could actually do 25 to 30 minutes. You can't do that in most of the clubs.
Well, Jim Norton was the guy that got us all in there. He got all of us on Opie and Anthony, and he got all of us to do Dangerfields before that because he was one of those few. Well, I guess because he was a Jersey guy, but like so many of those New York comics were just content to just do. The New York clubs.
Yeah, the comic strip, and that was it.
And do their 20 minutes. And it's just like, dude, don't you want to expand this? At some point, you have to do... Back then, remember, it was 45 minutes to close. Then it became an hour. Now you got to do like an hour plus. But back when we started out, it was the opener did like 8 to 10, brought up the feature who did 20, and then or 25, maybe.
Yeah, 25, yeah.
Maybe a half at the most. And then the headliner did 45. That was your show. 90 minutes. So, yes, 15, 30, 45.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, my God, how the fuck do you do 45 minutes? How do you get that last 15 minutes together? Now it's like you got to do like a fucking hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15.
Yeah.
I saw what's his face last night? Jesus Christ, I'm getting so old. I just spaced on his fucking name. The guy from Black Flag. Henry Rollins. Jesus.
Oh, he's doing a spoken word thing?
I got to stop fucking talking on myself. I got to get one of those headpieces because I really think it's fucking with my memory. Henry Rollins, right? I fucking went to see the guy. Dude, that dude, he does like 2.5 hours. And it's just like, he's like, it's fucking unbelievable.
And he's intense, right? The whole 2.5 hours.
The whole fucking time. It was funny. DeRosa goes, I was with DeRosa. I'm like, this fucking guy. Dude, he comes out. It's like when they go, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Henry Rollins. They barely get the S of Rollins, and he's fucking out there, right? And he comes walking out, and he does this bow, and his fists are clenched, and then he takes the mic out of the mic stand, and then he starts wrapping the cord around his fucking hand. It was the guy was fucking amazing. And I made DeRosa laugh my ass off because we were watching the guys go, oh, Jesus Christ, the guys go fucking intense. And he goes like, yeah, dude, and he's stoned sober. I was like, Joe, I got to tell you something. I don't think I've ever seen a guy who needs a drink more than this guy. This fucking, like...
And he doesn't take any water. Like, he doesn't take a break. I heard, like, he won't even reach for water during his set.
I'm telling you, dude, it was like...
Just full on for 2 hours.
Yeah. It was like... I'm trying to think of a band. Yeah, I guess it would be like if you never heard of AC/DC, you know, they don't play any ballads.
Yeah.
And if there was no talking between songs, and it was all Whole Lotta Rosie.
Right.
Back in black.
Or even like Rage Against the Machine, who doesn't talk when they would just, I've been to a million of those shows, and it's just pure, no, they don't talk, and they just go one song to another, to another, to another.
Now, that's another band that their singer won't do it. Right?
No.
He won't do it. There's so many of those fucking bands.
There's millions and millions of dollars on the table for them to do, like festivals over in Europe with 80,000 people and do a tour of the States, and the guy just won't do it.
Well, this is the thing. If you're in a band, okay, and you start seeing your lead singer like reading a real estate book or something on business, you got to burn that fucking thing because he's going to invest his money wisely, and then he's not going to need to do it, and then you're going to be fucked. I just can't imagine, like, first of all, I can't imagine the pressure of the lead singer where it's like, what if the drummer fucked up and doesn't have money, and it's just like you could just go do a fucking tour just to help him out. You got the pressure of him going, come on, man, I'm going to lose my fucking house here, man. And he'd be like, dude, in the 90s, we made enough money, you never shut at work again. Well, I was bad with money.
Yeah, well, that's...
Can you just do 3 gigs?
That's the thing, supposedly with Journey, they all invested their money, and that's why Stephen Perry has a lot of money. They were like the first rock band that really like put their money away and had good financial planning and stuff, so they didn't have to do that. They didn't do anything for a while until they got, the Asian singer. They had another guy in there before, but they didn't have to do it. But yeah, a lot of bands, but this guy in Rage Against the Machine, they have a band meeting once a year. He doesn't even have a cell phone. They have to like call somebody to call somebody. It's almost like when they were, like trying to find Bin Laden. He shows up, they talk about Rage Against the Machine, you want to put this remaster out, whatever. Yeah, okay, they hang for a couple hours, and then he goes, all right, I'll see you guys, and then you don't see him for a year. Wow. And they're like, look, there's about $80 million on the table if we do about 50 dates. Nah, I'm good. I'm all right.
Jesus. Well,
supposedly the rumor with Guns N' Roses, they got back together. Slash going through a divorce. I don't even know if it's final yet, but he had no prenup, married for 20 years in L.A. with 2 kids. He was going to lose more than 50% of his money. And supposedly the cut is Axl gets 50, Slash gets 25, and Duff gets 25. And Slash will pay his other guys in the band. Because he's still got Richie Fortus, he's got his drummer and all that, and Dizzy Reed keyboard. And that comes out of Axl's money. But supposedly, what I heard is Duff is giving some of his money to Slash because Duff's made so many good investments, has so much money that he's like, dude, you're going to need it because he's trying to pay this divorce off or whatever the money he's going to have to pay. That Duff's actually giving Slash some of the money. And that's one of the main reasons they got back together. Well, Axl never liked Slash's wife. So as soon as they got married 20 years ago, whatever, everything fell apart. As soon as they broke up, they started talking again. And they got the band back together. But supposedly Duff is giving a cut to Slash to help him out.
Jesus Christ.
20 years.
California's a motherfucker.
20 years, no prenup, 2 kids.
How does it work? Like if you got married in California, but then you move to Washington, and then if it falls apart there, do you then go by the laws of the state that you got married in or the state you're in there?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. Did you see what happened to the beautiful woman there on, the two gay guys, the guy Al Bundy from Married with Children. What the fuck's the name of that show? Alternative Lifestyles?
Modern
Family.
Modern Family.
Yeah, that fucking show. Did you see what she's going through?
No.
She was with some guy, and they were going to do that fucking in vitro. So I don't know what he's got.
And he's suing for the embryos or something like that.
And he named him. Dude, if that was my son, I'd be like, you fucking piece of shit. Get a fucking job.
I know.
Get a fucking job. Dude, that is the cuntiest, bitchiest fucking thing I've seen somebody do in a long fucking thing. He named the embryos.
Yeah.
They're like people to me. You fucking piece of shit.
You think if it was a waitress from Hooters, would he be doing this? No, he just knows she has money. And
he wants child support.
He wants child support.
That happened to some. My wife was telling me that happened to some other woman. Same fucking thing. Like, dude, that is just like.
Yeah, that woman from The View, the black chick from The View that quit.
What's her name?
Star Jones, was it? She had a baby with this dude or whatever like that.
I thought Star Jones was the one who fucking got her stomach stapled and then was like, nah, I just been doing cardio, eating grapefruit.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
Oh, so she's had a number of.
But she had
the other chick. Who was the other one? Rosie O'Donnell then called her out. Was like, no, you ain't. You fucking got it.
Yeah.
You got it stapled. You know what's amazing? Rex Ryan's getting fat again. Like, how you fucking push that band right off?
He said that his brother, ever since his brother got in town, they just go out and they can't stop eating. That was his excuse when he hired his brother after he got
it's
fired.
funny. Like, yeah, if you move to Buffalo, you're in trouble, dude.
Yeah, there's no healthy place to eat.
Yeah, and they got, was it Duff? Is it Duffy's? Duffy's in the Anchor Bar, and they're the two places that claim that they invented the wings.
Yeah.
There's those two. If he goes to Minnesota, and they got those Juicy Lucy's, the burgers where they put the fucking cheese in the middle of it. There's a lot of tough cities. New York, you could actually eat healthy, though. He has to, Rex Ryan, if he's going to stay skinny, needs to coach a team in like self-involved cities only.
Yeah, like if he was the LA Rams coach.
The Rams, yeah. Rams, Giants, or Jets, he'd be good.
San Diego,
that's he'd meet some, That might fuck up his marriage, though. There's so many beautiful, cool chicks down there. You might have a fucking problem,
Yeah.
They're all walking around in sandals. He's into feet, You walking around with no shirt on and shit, So, all right, we're gonna wrap up here, dude. It's always so great to see you. I'm so proud, man. You got this special coming out once again called The Simple Man.
Simple Man.
A Simple Man. You can see it starting tomorrow, December 9th, 2016. If you listen to this 20 years in the fucking future, iTunes and on Amazon, and was taped in New Jersey. And you said you taped it how long ago? Like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, it was about a year and a half. Yeah.
Oh, so you already got your new hour? You ready?
Oh,
to go?
I'm ready. I'm ready doing one in about a month.
Dude, I'm not. Mine's coming out in January. I taped it in October, and I've just been sitting around waiting for this kid to show up. So,
once that kid, the floodgates are going to open.
I know. I'm gonna be like, hey, you ever been changing a diaper? What's up with that? I don't want to be the fucking...
No, you won't be there. I thought I was going to be too, because all my friends are like, oh man, you're going to have a kid. You're not going to be doing kid jokes, are you?
Start tucking my shirt in and wearing a sport coat. When you go on stage, the dad shit with the fucking Gap jeans.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you first, the first 6 months is hairy, man. It's no sleep. Everyone's cranky. You're up every 2 hours. You have to take shifts or whatever like that. And you just got to make sure you almost like don't put on that dad weight in the beginning.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to drop a bunch of weight before the kid gets here. Just
because you're going to be so exhausted. If whatever your workout is, you're going to fuck that. I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, well, that's why I think I'm not working on the road until February. But once I'm in February, I would like to, just start going back out again because I figure I'll have my hour together by then, enough to actually have somebody pay to see me do stand-up again. And the game plan is to, still do my 2 weekends a month. So I figure I'll just go out and just sleep when I'm on the road, do my show, go back, go to sleep, and that'll be my thing. And then with my wife, I'm just going to get 1 day a week. I'm going to give her like a fucking spa day where she just goes and fucking probably sleeps during the massage or whatever. I feel like my big thing is if I keep her fucking chill and happy the best I can, then that'll get through this.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I did. I slept on the road. I did all my work on the road, too.
How old's your son now?
He's
3 or
6.
4?
He just turned 6.
He's 6? Where the fuck are the years going?
Yeah.
Holy shit. 6 years old. And what, he plays drums and stuff?
He plays drums. He sings. He's going to the recording studio next week to cut 2 songs. He's got 2 originals. One's called Evil Pumpkin because he had a dream about a pumpkin. He already wrote the lyrics for it. And Lemmy Went to Heaven is a ballad because he was a Motorhead fan. He never got to meet Lemmy, so he sings about it. He's insane.
Jesus Christ, dude, you're raising him right.
Oh, yeah. I've taken him to Dolphin games. He's been to 3 games already this year.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. He loves it.
Dolphins game? You
Took him down to Miami twice. We went to the Ravens game last week down in Baltimore. He almost met Marino. He's a big Marino fan. Some friends with Marino, so we're trying to get on the field. We couldn't, so he's Dad, you got to meet. I'm like, look, he already met Ozzy.
Jesus
He's pissed that he hasn't
Christ.
met Angus Young. I'm like, that's a tough one to pull off. I don't know if I can do
Yeah.
you can't get near those AC/DC guys. Brian Johnson, when he was in the band, you could, but that's tough to get close
Yeah.
to. We had him once on that metal show. I met him once. So
You
that
met
was
who,
good.
Brian Johnson?
And Angus.
Wow.
Yeah, Angus was on.
How was that?
It was great, right when Black Ice came out. That was like in 2008 when we first started
Yep.
doing the show.
Yeah, and I ran into you at the Forum.
Yeah.
We went to the show, yeah. I'm a huge AC/DC fan. What were they like? I know Brian's cool as
Well,
hell.
first of all, my son saw AC/DC with Brian Johnson and Axl. So he's seen him with 2 different singers, which is great. And he loved both of them.
Well, Axel did a great job.
He did an amazing job. I saw it twice in 1 week. It was so good.
You know what's amazing about Axel's voice is the fact that he was a hermit and didn't tour forever. He still has it.
It's amazing how that guy, I give him the comeback player of the year. Between Guns N' Roses doing 2.5-hour shows and pulling off the Bon Scott and the Brian Johnson AC/DC stuff, he supposedly he had he just realized all these guys dying, David Bowie, everybody, all these rock stars dying. He's like, what am I doing? Seriously, at this point, let me go back out there. Let's get the band back together, go have fun, play stadiums, and then he was a huge AC/DC fan, Bon Scott fan. That was his favorite band growing up. Right. He actually made the call. He called them and said, "Hey, if you guys need any help, just let me know." And they go, "Well, come down and audition." And next thing you know, he had the gig.
Wow.
And the Bon Scott shit they were pulling out, like the stuff they haven't done in years. If You Want Blood, You Got It. They were doing live.
Oh, did they?
Live Wire. Killer shit.
Yeah, because they hadn't played that since Bond died.
Yeah, and they did Problem Child. I saw the last night of the tour, Cliff Williams retired, the bass player, and they played Problem Child on the encore. They go, we haven't done this one. We rehearsed it a couple times. We're going to just... And they did Problem
Cliff
Child.
Williams retired from the band?
Yeah, retired from the band. It was his last show in September. I think he's really close with Brian, and I think Brian got the shaft.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
heard.
And they both live down in Florida. They hang out in pubs. They drink and shit like that. And I felt like, you know what? I'm out, man. Because it's just Angus left in the band. Like, what are you going to do now?
Oh, God. So who do they get to replace him?
That nobody, because the tour just ended. So they don't know what, they'll just hibernate for a couple of years.
So the band right now is Chris Slade, Malcolm Young's brother, Angus, Axl, and
No bass player.
Bass player. Oof.
Yeah, so Angus is the only one, the original guy in the band. So they can't come back. They have to use Axl. They can't come back with like a tribute singer from Texas, in an Appetite for Destruction band. No way. They're not going to do arenas.
Oh, man.
So he's stuck with it. He had to come back
And
with
what
a
happened
big
with Brian? Brian, his hearing got...
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, look,
I
he
know.
was 68 years old. He can only do 2 shows a week. Angus wanted to do 4 or 5. You don't want to sit in a hotel. You got a crew of like 300 people. It's expensive to be out on the road. And Angus wants to play, every other night. Brian can only do it 2 nights. That's a physical show. They're doing 2.5 hours.
The singer's the big thing. You can play guitar. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Angus, though, does fucking flop around on the floor. Shit. The guy's, he's like
61.
61, yeah.
Yeah, and he still weighs 96 pounds. Still,
I know, and he never
exactly.
drank or did drugs. Back in the day, he used to just like drink milkshakes and shit and just
Yeah.
go out and burn them
And
off.
smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yeah, that was his vice, huh? Fuck.
So I don't know what's going on, but Brian Bass. So as soon as they found out something, it's almost like a marriage. You marry like 30 years, and all of a sudden, you see your wife was talking to an old boyfriend on Facebook. That's it, we're divorced. See, something's going on. Like they were I think like they were looking for an excuse to let Brian go because Angus still wants to do this. Angus sees all the money that's out there. He could play till he's 70 years old. He could still run around. So Brian was basically winding down. So he's like, all right, I got to get him out somehow, get somebody else in, and continue this. What they really should have done is just said, Brian said, hey, I'm gonna retire after this, and then. Good luck to those guys. They're going to get a new lead singer, and they're going to carry on. The fans would have bought that, but a lot of them aren't buying it. There was a lot of tickets. Like, they're only doing about 10,000 people. Like, a lot of people returned their tickets. Like, fuck that. You guys fucked over Brian Johnson. I don't give a shit who's singing. we're not coming to see the band. So who knows what they're going to do now? Because, Jim Brewer's the one who broke that. Brewer hung out with Brian Johnson like a week after the shit went down and basically went on his podcast and said, Brian's like, they fucked me. I said, I have a hearing problem. Next thing I know, I hear on the news that the tour's off and I'm out of the band. And 2 days later, they shipped all my shit to my house. Like a UPS or a U-Haul truck shows up with all my equipment.
I heard. Is that true? I heard.
Yeah, that's what he told Brewer, and Brewer talked about it. And Brian had to back off. No, it didn't go down like that, but it did. He just said, look, I got a hearing problem. I'm just telling you that it's eventually going to be a bigger problem. But, whatever. We have 10 shows left. Obviously, I'm going to do them, but I got to figure this shit out. And they just said the next day, all right, he's out of the band. Goodbye. He's retiring. He can't play anymore.
Jesus, that makes me happy I'm a comedian.
I know, just
not
us.
have to deal with that.
Just us.
That level of shit. All right. Well, that's the Thursday afternoon podcast. I got to read some advertising here. I will not make you sit through listening to me.
Oh, I don't care, man. But if you go to jimflorentine.com and put the promo code BURR in, you'll get it for $5, the special.
Nice.
If you don't go to iTunes, there's a sort of doing that.
Okay. Well, shit. Guess what I'm doing when I get home? Well, I'm going to Lamaze class, the last fucking one. Ugh. Jesus, dude,
we didn't get into
hours,
that.
10 fucking hours.
I did one of those natural birthing classes.
You know what? We went to an infant care thing, and I they taught us how to change a diaper and shit. I had younger, brothers and sisters, so I knew how to do it. But then, I just hadn't done it in a while. So that one actually was just like, oh yeah, okay, it's good, and teach how to wrap the kid up and that shit. Okay, I get this, but this is the last one, dude. I'll tell you, this is the last one. And I wish there was a pub right across the fucking street because I would go out and celebrate that this fucking class. I mean, the lady's nice who teaches it. Everybody in the class is nice, but it's just a fucking waste. It's what the fuck are we doing?
I did the same thing with my wife at the time. And I remember one time she goes, I have a headache. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the class tonight. Are you mad? I go, no, don't worry about it. She goes, no, I don't want to miss this one. If you really want to go, we'll go. I go, no, don't worry about it. If you got a headache, let's just stay home. Who knows? It could be something worse. I'm like, fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you have to take the bullet and go, yeah, no, we'll go. And you just sit there and like, okay, look, there's going to be 6 other people in the room that went to fucking school for this for 8 years. I'm just some fucking asshole. How am I going to help?
It's the stupidest fucking thing
ever. It's the stupidest thing ever. There's 6 doctors in there that know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there.
It's the only fucking medical procedure that you're fucking in there. I worked in a dental office. My dad would tell him, get out of here. Because they're going to see blood, you're going to faint. Now I got 2 patients. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't need you here.
One more, dude. Just the amount of fucking times I look at that clock, dude, it's insane.
No, I know.
It is insane.
Because it's like 2 hours, right?
7:01, 7:02, 7:04. Don't look. 7:06. Fuck. And then they bust out like a film strip, a little video, and I'm psyched again. It's like I'm in high school again. Oh, good. A fucking film strip. I can just fucking chill out and not think.
Well, mine was showing like natural birth, like in the bathtub, and they had like the woman was putting VHS tapes in from women from like the 80s that had kids at home in their bathtub, and they're showing the kid coming out and these big hairy pussies, and like these bushes that are really high because it was seriously from like the 80s. They were on like a camcorder and they filmed it. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, at least that's funny, man. They were just fucking like, dude. What's funny? They were showing like, if the woman's having trouble, they can make an incision basically along the taint.
Yeah,
I know. Sorry, guys. Either vertical or like fucking at an angle. And I'm looking at it, and it's just this drawing. And I was going like, Jesus Christ, why is the clit so big? And it was the asshole. Like, they was drawn so bad. It was this giant clit. My wife was dying. Because they just sort of like drew a bush a little bit, and then they just had like this black hole. And I couldn't tell if she was laying on her stomach or on her back. And it was just like, and it was funny. It was like a week later I said, yeah, I understand. Why did they draw the clits? No, I remember. I figured it out in the class. And then I laughed to myself. Then I told my wife, and she was fucking dying laughing. I was like, well, did that look like a fucking asshole? It didn't. They didn't draw it right. All right, this is way off topic. I already forgot. Jim Florentine, a simple man. A simple man. I almost said a sane man. A simple man is going to be, once again, iTunes and on Amazon. I'm going to read some advertising here. Jim, thank you so much for coming by.
Absolutely,
always
man.
a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, thanks, man, for having
And
me.
I don't know. Hopefully, I'll run into you back east, and we'll do a couple sets of Dangerfields.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to go back there. I want to do a prom at 2 a.m.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Are you ready? All right, everybody. Here's the reads for this week, okay? This is the comedy within the comedy where you get to listen to me read out loud. All right. Oh, it's our old friend Sherry's Berries. No matter who you're shopping for, Sherry's Berries is the one-stop shop for everyone on your list. You don't have to battle the crowds to get the perfect gift. Shop with convenience right from your home. I love how Sherry's Berries is talking this like you're buying him a fucking diamond. It's a strawberry, fucking chocolate-covered strawberry. This is like a fucking tertiary. This is a stocking stuffer, right? Anyways, Christmas is. It's only what's today? I'm not doing the fucking math. You know when it is. It's December 25th. It's like 13 days away, or give or take. With only all right, fuck it. 25 minus 18. Okay, that's 5 minus 17 days. It's 17 days left to shop, wrap, and deliver your gifts. Do you really want to deal with that shit? Wouldn't it be great if there was a lot of people on your list, you could just give them chocolate-covered strawberries and just frisbee it right at them? Well, this is the place to go. Sherry's Berries. They offer freshly dripped strawberries from Sherry's Berries, starting at just $19.99. $20. Go fuck yourself. See you next Christmas. That's over a 30% saving, or double the berries. If he's a fat fuck, right? For just $10 more, all right? You just need my code. Take advantage of this deal. To take advantage of the deal, and the code is BURR, B-U-R-R. Descriptive words: decadent, fresh, juicy, sweet, shareable, and irresistible. Anyways, with Christmas right around the corner, there's only one way to get the amazing $19.99 Sherry's Berries deal and help support our show. Just visit berries.com, BERRIES.com. And click on the microphone in the top right-hand corner and type in BURR. All right. Legacy Box. All right. This isn't some chick you always wanted to bang. All right. Legacy Box. When was the last time you watched your home movies? If you're like most Americans, there was a box in your closet of videotapes, film reels, and photos that you don't get washed or taken out. Worse, they're actually deteriorating. I have to fucking do this with my old stand-up takes. Introducing Legacy Box, a simple and affordable way to get your recorded moments digitally preserved on DVD or a thumb drive. Here's how it works. Load Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio recordings, and send it back. You'll get them back in a couple of weeks on DVD or a convenient thumb drive, ready to watch, share, and relive. Legacy Box takes care of everything and provides updates at every step of the process. That's why over 250,000 families have used them. The Huffington Post, Parents Magazine, USA Today, The View are all talking about Legacy Box. In other words, they're paying them. Even Disney has trusted Legacy Box to digitize their media. And for a limited time, go to legacybox.com/burr to get a 40% discount on your order. That's legacybox.com/burr. That's legacybox.com/burr. That's fucking great. That's a great Christmas gift you can get your significant other. Just get it all down to one friggin' file. And then when the next thing comes out, you got the little thumb drive right there. Get it on the fucking index finger drive. Sorry. All right, Tracker, everybody. We're all fucking losers. Newsweek reports the average American wastes 55 minutes a day looking for things they own but can't find. Share a story when you've lost something you needed. One time I wanted to start a fire, but there was no wood. I couldn't find the log. So I ended up cutting up a chair, and right after I cut it up and lit it on fire, I was like, there's that fucking log. Sorry. Trackers makes losing things a thing of the past, and I'll tell you how to get one for free in a minute. Tracker's a coincide device that locates misplaced keys, wallets, bags, computers, anything in seconds. Just pair Tracker to your smartphone, attach it to anything, and find its precise location with the tap of a button. It's that easy. Listeners to this show get a free Tracker Bravo with any order. Go to thetracker.com, like the Ohio State, THE, tracker.com, and enter the promo code BURR. Your free Tracker Bravo. If you go to it right now, you get a free Tracker Bravo with any order. Again, that's tracker.com, promo code BURR. Okay, we're getting down to it here. How many fucking more? All right. Oh, shit, here we go. Give me the loot. Loot Crate. Be the envy of your friends. You get 100% exclusive crates at lootcrate.com/Burr and enter my code Burr to save $3 off on any new subscription. What do you think people would do if I brought a fucking 12-pack to this Lamaze class? You know, it's the last. I'll bring some wine, right? It's French. And just get fucking hammered and make my wife drive home. That might be the way to go, right? Anyways, wait until I tell you about December's crate. It will have you fighting the power. Loot Crate offers an epic range of pop culture items for less than $20 a month. If you're more fanatical or fashionista, then try Loot Wear. Monthly wearables and accessories with cult classics and your favorite franchises. Get ready for December's rebellious theme, Revolution. They're always watching. They've designed a system to keep you down, man, and they're meddlesome. Hello, friends. It's time for a revolution. December's crate. Am I not supposed to read every paragraph? Am I supposed to pick one of these? Because they sound like they say the same shit over and over again. All right, it's Revolution. You get exclusive items from Assassin's Creed, Mr. Robot, Firefly, our monthly t-shirt and pin, and more, including an exclusive Funko Pop. Do not wait. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe for the December's crate. When it's over, it's over. No more crates. Go to lootcrate.com/Burr and enter my promo code Burr, B-U-R-R, to save $3 off on any new subscription today. Oh, here's our favorite, everybody. It's old Zip Recruiter. Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. Well, shit, where do we go? If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post all your jobs on the one top site. And now you can with old Zip Recruiter.com. You can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with one single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll into ZipRecruiter. Easy to use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your offers. Quickly screen the candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. You don't have time. You know why? You're running a goddamn business. Over 1 million businesses have used them, and right now my listeners can post jobs for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. One more time. Hey, Zip Recruiter.com/Burr. All right, finally. Oh, Jesus, one more. Winch, formerly Club W. Club W, let's look for the terrorist. I don't know how to say this. W-I-N-C. The holidays are coming up. Need to send a gift? Here's a hint. Send wine. Wince or Wink makes it easy for you to send an impressive gift this holiday season. Wink or Wince has tons of great gift packages, options for the wine lover in your life. Check out their gift cards or personalized wine gift packages. Wink or Wince works directly with winemakers and growers from all over the world to create delicious wine and deliver it right to your door. 100% satisfaction guarantee means if you don't like the bottle they send you, they'll replace it with a bottle you'll love. No questions asked. Hey, any more alcoholics out there? See the fucking loophole in that one? Yeah, I didn't really like that one. They just keep fucking sending them to you. Walking around with your gray teeth, drinking that red shit. You don't just get sent random bottles either. It's personalized wine membership that recommends wine specifically for you based on the results of your palate profile quiz. Also, you can rate all the wines you receive from Wink or Wince. They'll learn about you with every order and constantly personalize the wine that they send. How do you sign up? This is what you do. The best part, Wink or Wince is offering my listeners $20 off right now when you go to TRYWINC.com/Burr. They'll even cover the shipping. You can try this thing and get $20 off plus a complimentary shipping right now when you go to TRYWINC.com/Burr. That's TRYWINC.com/Burr. All right, mercifully, that's the end of it. Once again, thanks to Jim Florentine for coming on the podcast. Check out his new special, A Simple Man, on Amazon.com or on iTunes. You can also download it off his website for $5. All right, have a nice weekend, you cunts, and I'll talk to you on Monday.
Right? It's one of those deals. Every year there's that douche. Then there's always the douche who has to try and top everybody's stories. You know, you could be sitting there with the fucking astronaut. You somehow try to top him or correct him. Well, actually, I thought, according to, you know what, I don't know what video game, some fucking astronaut video game the douche played, he'd actually try to question a real astronaut. Who even knows an astronaut at this point? Aren't they all dead? Did the people who were on the space shuttle, were they considered astronauts? Because I didn't consider them astronauts. You're not an astronaut if you're in a plane. Okay, and I know it's a big one. And I know it's got rockets on it initially. All right? But all I know is that the astronauts that I grew up on with were fucking, they were at the top of a missile. That's what they did. You didn't steer that fucking thing. I don't even know how they got back. They had a little capsule. I think you just leaned to one side. You kept rolling back towards the earth, hoping you'd re-enter. Right? Then the parachutes came out, and they couldn't fucking find you because all we had was binoculars. You know? Where is he? I don't see him. Anything on the starboard? Nothing, sir. There ain't nothing off the starboard. Right? And you're fucking sitting there in the water, clinging to a stingray. If you're lucky, you landed on an island, and then you met a genie who called you master, but for some reason you never fucked her. But other than that, that's what an astronaut was. He didn't fly in a fucking plane, you know, eating SpaghettiOs or whatever the fuck they did, and then land and get towed to the gate by a fucking Toyota Tundra. All right? That's not an astronaut to me. That's a very impressive pilot. I'm very impressed. He went a lot higher than the jumbo jet I flew to Syracuse in. Hats off to you, sir. All right, UFOs. Dude, my question is in here somewhere. I am nowhere near a conspiracy freak or anything like that, but I do admit I get a hard-on for any documentary on that secret military base in Nevada that is called Area 51. The government is supposed... Well, I mean, believing in aliens, like... I don't know. That's really not that crazy. You know, you think, like... how big the fucking universe is? There's just life on one planet. No life anywhere else, despite the fact that they see evidence of water on Mars at some point. You know, I'm telling you guys, we're not that special. If you're God and you made the whole universe, are you just going to sit back watching one fucking planet? Maybe that's why the Earth is so fucked up. I don't think he's been watching us for the last couple thousand. When was the last time he reached out? Reach out and freak someone out. Right? When was the last time he fucking did that? When was the last time he fucking was in a burning bush going, hey, you there with the long fucking curvy stick next to the sheep. Come over here. Come over to the burning bush. You know, when was the last time he did that? I think he's been watching other Earths. Flipping through the channels. You know? Can you imagine how clear his fucking... How big do you think God's flat screen TV is? How clear is that picture? I bet even if you make it to heaven, you know, you don't even get to see it. Like he comes out of his office and you try to peek in real quick. And like the human eye, it's just too much of a fucking glare, right? So anyways, yeah, if you believe in aliens, I mean, I don't know that we can reach one another. You know, that whole flying saucer fucking horseshit. I mean, how long can you go with artificial some sort of atmosphere in there? That was like on Star Trek. I mean, they just had this limitless supply of fucking oxygen. womp, 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 just fucking flying through space. Now look at them. They landed on a lot of planets that had oxygen. They would just land on these planets and they just had oxygen. I think what they did was they landed the Starship Enterprise and they just opened the windows and they got some more oxygen and then they flew away, right? Isn't that how it works? Anyways, the government supposedly is housing and researching crashed UFOs and uses deadly force to keep regular people out. Do you have any opinion on the subject? I think I just said. I mean, I don't fuck. Do I think they actually have the bodies of aliens? Do you realize like the level of secrecy you would have to have if you actually had that shit? That would be like one of the things before they went in the room. It's like, okay, we're going to let you in this room. And you got to understand, when you go in this room, the door is closing and you're never getting out. Because you're going to see some fucking shit in here that I don't give a fuck. You're not. If you have one shot of NyQuil, you're going to be blabbering about it. You can't do it. So I don't know. I don't fucking know. Anyways, he goes, what does your bullshit meter say? I think there's way too much of a veil of secrecy around the place to think otherwise. I used to know someone who was a career Air Force pilot. Whenever the subject of that base or those mysterious lights over Phoenix seen in 1997 came up, he completely removed himself from the conversation. Those mysterious lights, I don't even know what you're talking about. For all you know, they're just testing some psycho fucking weaponry. You know? Remember when the new Yankee Stadium came out in like 08 or 09, and they were like, we have 2013 technology. All right? If those fucking morons that run that place can have shit that we're not going to have, you know, they can be 4 or 5 years ahead of us. Can you imagine what the government is? I mean, they got to have shit from like, I don't know, 2014. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. Anyways, he says, quite frankly, the evening's laughs would end right after the topic was brought up. I believe in life outside of our universe. To think that we human and all of Earth's inhabitants are the only life anywhere is just plain ignorant. I 100% agree with that. I'm sure you've heard stories about President Nixon secretly showing UFOs and aliens to his favorite comedian, Jackie Gleason. That's a complete crock of shit. What would you... like he's going to do that? All right. Now, I know I'm not supposed to show you that. I know I'm not supposed to show you that stuff. And away we go. That was a bad Nixon impression right there. What would happen if you were shown some stuff like that? I imagine I would immediately be microchipped or shot in the back of the fucking head. Would you tell about it? I wouldn't want to know about that. That if I actually found out about that, it would blow my fucking mind. You know what it is? Look, maybe your Air Force guy buddy there has seen something, because I would say that like all No, but you know what? He laughs right up until that moment. If he wasn't laughing at all throughout all your conversation, then I would believe it more. Because I know if I knew some shit like that, and then I would sit there and listening to people talking about God and all the shit that we believe down here that didn't include aliens, I would feel like a fucking alien. Because I would be like, yeah, we're just a speck of dust there, people. And there's all this other stuff out there. And, yeah, I mean, it would drive me nuts after a while. Yeah, no. I'm not cut out for that fucking... the kind of secrets I can keep are like, you know, it stays in the locker room kind of shit. You know what I mean? You live your life how you want to fucking live your life. You know, until, like, if you're, look, if you're pouring shit into the water supply, you know, if you're doing stuff like that, if you're fucking vandalizing the neighborhood I live in, then go fuck yourself. All right? But, you know, the other bullshit, I look the other way. But if I knew there was fucking aliens, yeah, no. Look, I'm too fucking stupid. There's no way they would tell it to me. If I was in the Air Force, how far into the Air Force do you think I would get? Do you think I'd get anywhere beyond the guy with the 2 sticks guiding the fucking plane in? You know?
Every little song that you know, every Hey, what's up? It's Bill Burr, and this is the Monday Morning Podcast. Well, I always say, hey, what's up? This is Bill Burr. You know, like it's going to be somebody else on my own MySpace page. Would you guys be disappointed if I did that, if I suddenly got an assistant? You know, who the fuck would get an assistant for a podcast? All right, this is the deal. This is the Monday Morning Podcast. If you're new to my page, I do one of these every single Monday. People send me questions. They send me lists of stuff that they feel is overrated or underrated. They correct me when they feel that I say fucked up shit. And sometimes that causes an argument between listeners. And, yeah, so it's going to be a very subdued Bill Burr on this podcast. If you notice, my voice is a little bit lower than it usually is. Did a lot of screaming and yelling this weekend at Caroline's Comedy Club. And I'm going to go see AC/DC tonight at the LA Forum. And then tomorrow morning I have to get up early because I'm shooting something. So I got this weird thing where I'm going to AC/DC, but I can't start screaming and yelling, you know? So I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do when they start playing the Jack? Am I going to lip sync? I'll do it like Britney Spears, and I'll put my fucking finger up to my ear and act like I'm trying to hit that note, you know? I have a fucking crazy week. And I'm at the age now where I'm going to start drinking tea with a little bit of honey in it before every one of my shows because I know what happens. When I get tired, I start yelling from my throat rather from down below where it's supposed to be coming from, and I fucking shred my voice a little bit. So I really hope you're not new to my podcast because that was one of the fucking most boring minutes of my podcast, I think, in the history of my podcast. That's great, Bill. Why don't you fucking drop the energy through the goddamn floor and let us hear about your medical problems? It was really fucking awful. But, yeah, so I got a huge week. I'm going to go see, AC/DC, and then later on, you know, I'm shooting some bullshit this week. And then after that, I'm going on a vacation. I'm going to go see some hockey games up in Canada. Friday night, I'm going to the Calgary Canuck game. Calgary Canuck, the fucking Calgary Flame game, and I think they're playing the Canucks, right? Or is Edmonton playing the Canucks? No, Calgary's playing Florida. Then I'm seeing Edmonton versus Vancouver in Edmonton at Northlands Coliseum, and then I go over to fucking Vancouver. And if you're from up there, if you're from Alberta or the British Columbia and you can recommend some bars for me to hit before or after the games, let me know. And if you know of some convenient hotels that won't rape me because I've yet to get a fucking hotel. Typical fucking guy. I got the tickets first, and then I'm dealing with all sorts of food and hotel shit later, which means basically I'll get to the airport and I'll be like, oh, where the fuck am I staying? Oh, there's a Super 8. I'm sorry, sir, we're all booked up. What do you mean you're all booked up? Yeah, the fucking Alberta Rough Riders, or whatever fucking CFL team that I've never heard of, is in town playing for the Grey Cup. I really don't know shit about Canada. The only thing I don't like about this trip is I was hoping to drive from Edmonton over to Vancouver, but it would just take forever because you got to go through those mountains. But I wanted to go through them. I wanted to see, you know, what toothless rednecks look like in what mountain men look like in Canada. And then, you know, when you go through shit like that, you end up seeing an animal you never seen before, and it fucking freaks you out. You feel like Magellan or some shit. Like I remember one time I was driving through Wyoming, and I don't know what these animals are, but they look like gazelles or antelopes. They look like some shit you'd see on the Serengeti. And I saw one, and I started freaking out by myself, screaming, pointing at it as I was driving by, screaming, what the fuck is that? Like something was going to, like the universe was going to answer me. I just go, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? And I looked over at the guy, you know, I was kind of passing, and he wasn't even looking at it. And I'm like, why, you know? He's not even excited about that fucking thing? What is that thing? And then I went over the hill, and then there was a whole herd of them. And I was like, oh, well, that's why that guy's not excited. These are like their pigeons. He doesn't give a fuck. He's probably annoyed by them. He's probably stepped in their shit at some point in his life, maybe even fell down at the bus stop. First day of school, sneakers were never clean again. He got a bad nickname. Here comes old, alley fucking antelope shit. You know, some sort of alliteration that fucking went along with whatever kind of animal that was, you know, and then that name just sticks, and it actually affects the level of pussy that you're going to get, you know. And he always told himself, I'm getting the fuck out of this state, man. I'm getting the fuck out of this state. How the hell am I going to get laid with antelope shit as a fucking nickname, you know? It's not going to happen. I need to go south. I need to go to Greeley, Colorado. And even if I'm called fucking antelope shit, the smell from that slaughterhouse down there, nobody's going to care. Nobody. Is that Greeley? Any Colorado listeners? This is the shit I learn when I go on the road. In Greeley, Colorado, they have this huge slaughterhouse up there, and it lingers in the air. And some days when they kill too many they slaughter too many, whatever the fuck I guess steer. People actually call up. They call bad smell days, and then they call up the slaughterhouse and said, "Hey, can you fucking lay off? Can you lay off the slaughter a little bit?" And I don't know what they do. They count like one Mississippi. Maybe they choke out a pheasant. Speaking of steers, I was in New York City last week, and if you don't know what a steer is I believe it's a bull with no balls. That's something else I learned when I was driving on the road. I'm like, all right, that's a cow, that's a bull. What the fuck is that? Someone's like, a steer. I'm like, what the fuck is a steer? And they told me, I said, that's a bull that doesn't have his balls. And I'm like, why is that? And I think it had to do something with hamburgers. I think that's what it is. I think that's how they make beef. They have bulls fuck cows. I might be wrong here. I think the bulls fuck the cows, and then the cows, give birth, and it's either a cow or it's a bull. But, if they want to make the bull be hamburger meat or a steak, they cut his balls off. Then he just stands around like, oh, great. Like that fucking unfunny caveman in those Geico commercials. Those Geico commercials don't even make sense anymore. He's like, oh, I get it. Something, but I get it. And he walks away. It's like, you know what, dude? I don't get it. I don't get the whole fucking thing. I don't get how there's some hot chick giving you attention and then she has a Geico keychain and you can't handle that. I can see if you're a woman, that would be a deal breaker because you'd have control over your fucking pussy. But if you're a guy, you don't have control over your dick. So, you know what I mean? She could actually be wearing a fuck caveman, I hate fucking caveman t-shirt. But if she wasn't wearing a bra, you'd be like, all right, well, simple equation. I'll just bend her over and I'll hate fuck her. So, anyway, I'm in New York City. I'm in New York. And, somebody asked me the other day, after you say something funny, what is that clicking noise? I don't know if I'm just on a bad phone. It's probably me laughing. I don't think it sounds like clicking noises, but anyways, Jesus Christ, Bill, get to the fucking point. So I'm in New York City, and I'm working Caroline's, and a buddy of mine always goes to this steakhouse, Smith & Walensky. It's on 49th and 3rd, and he's like, yeah, there's a guy who works up there. He's a big fan of your stuff. You should come by. And, I'm like, fuck yeah, definitely I'll go up there, I love going to steakhouses. It's one of the few places you can actually feel like a man. It's like old school, You fucking, and it's like classy. You're not like, it's not like that hacky shit, you know what I mean? Like, all these punks who sit there and they watch a couple of Rat Pack videos, then they go out and they buy themselves a suit, and they start walking around thinking that they're recreating the Rat Pack when there's just something too glossy about the way they're doing it, I don't know if it's their manicured eyebrows or whatever the fuck guys are doing nowadays, but they can't fucking pull it off. But when you go into those steakhouses that have been there for a while, they got a lot of waiters who've been there forever, so they organically bring that vibe, and you raise up to their level. You know what I mean? They come onto the table, they have the females order first, that old school classy shit, I don't know. I like it. So anyway, I fucking go in there. And you guys, if you've been listening to my podcast, whenever I get sick, I imitate that guy, Ray Winston from Winstone or whatever from fucking Sexy Beast, my favorite movie ever. The beginning of the movie where he's like, yeah, I'm sweating here, roasting, baking, boiling. It's like a sauna. That bullshit. I fucking love that movie. It's my favorite movie. So I'm in this fucking steakhouse, and I look over, and I'm looking at this fucking guy, and I can tell he's somebody, but he's got these big, I'm a producer, glasses on. I thought it was Mickey Rourke for half a fucking second, because I'm real bad at that shit. And I'm with, like, you know, my girl and a couple other people, and they look over, they go, that's your boy there from the movie. That's fucking... No, wait a minute, I don't know what happened. I was a little hungover, sorry. He goes out to have a cigarette, or a fag, as they call it, and he's fucking standing out there, and he's out there with fucking Teddy Bass, Mr. Black Magic. Fucking, what's his face? Ian McCallum, is that his name? I'm so bad with I watched that movie fucking 900 times, I still don't know the goddamn names. He's standing there, and the director, all this shit, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So my buddy's like, we got to go out there. We got to get him. We got to get a picture with him. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not going to bug those guys. I saw him. That's enough for me. I see him. I'm not going to bug him. And he's like, dude, you fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me? That's not like it's fucking Ashton Kutcher. Those are real fucking, you know, great actors. The guy was in the fucking Departed. Stop being a douche. Let's go. So I said, fuck it. And I went out there. And they ended up being hot shits. And they were, I guess there's another sexy beast coming out. I don't know. They were fucking cool as hell. And I don't know. I'm going to post the picture on it at some point up on my my website. But I got to meet like half the cast from Sexy Beast. And I ate a steak. You know what I mean? It fucking doesn't get any better than that. It's like one of those old Milwaukee Brew commercials. Isn't that right? Isn't that how that fucking, those commercials went? Doesn't get any better than this? Or was that Bush? You know? Doesn't get any better than this, you know? We're a bunch of guys. There's no broads around. We're sitting in the woods. How could it not get any better than that? Well, because basically I think we've gotten enough pussy in our lives, and now we just find females irritating. That's the only way I could ever make any sense out of that commercial. Because other than that, you're outside, you're shitting in the woods, and there's mosquitoes. And if you're there with five guys, you know one of them you didn't want to come along, but someone else liked him. You know, which is probably why you're drinking. All right, let's get on with the questions for this week. The Subdued Podcast, the Easy Listening Podcast here. Hello. Behave, I'm paying for your meal. All right, question number one. Bill, if you died in some fucked up but still really funny way, fucked up but really funny way, how long do you think it would be before your other comedian friends would start busting your balls either in their own stand-up acts or just in public? Even though that would be kind of cunty, how long till that fucking too soon period was over? Well, if I'm dead, I don't think that they would be able to break my balls, but I know what you mean. I would say pretty much after a day and a half, someone would make the first joke, and then it would just be open season, because then the other comics would try to top what the other comics said. And I don't know, outsiders would view that as insensitive, but I've always been fascinated how people don't realize that, you know, comedians always have a joke no matter what the tragedy is, and they think it's because comedians are insensitive assholes. I mean, there is an element of truth to that, but making a joke when something bad happened is also a way, it's like a defensive mechanism where you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling sad, I don't want to feel this feeling, and then you just say something ridiculous, everybody laughs, it gets rid of the tension. You know, it's not like they don't give a fuck, but sometimes they don't. And I got to admit, if I did die in a really stupid way, I would be disappointed if people didn't, you know, trash me till the end of time. Jesus Christ, well, I'm trying to think of the stupid ways to die. I don't want to do that. I'll fucking jinx myself. All right, question number 2. Hey, Bill, I've been wanting to get into stand-up since I was 20 years old. I've been a huge pussy for the past 3 years, so I've just been writing jokes and not performing them because I'm too scared to go through with it. Eventually, I'm going to man up and do it. But now I have the problem of having a 3-year stockpile of jokes. How do I decide which ones to do for my 5 minutes at the Stress Factory? I don't know. I would pick, you know, some shit you wrote recently, because I figure you've been writing for 3 years. You're probably just getting better at it. And plus, if you're doing topical material, I don't think anybody gives a shit about, I don't know, what was topical 3 years ago? 2008 minus 2005. Oh, what's up with John Kerry? This guy's face is longer than a fucking peekaboo with a boo. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Can you back me up? No, dude, just fucking don't put that pressure on yourself. Just write 5 minutes of shit that you think is funny. The first time you go on stage, I always tell this to people, has nothing to do with how good or bad you do. It's just all about having the balls to go up there when they call your name. Worry about what the fuck you're doing, you know, after you've done it 2-3 times. You know what I mean? Then start to, you know, because, you know, you just jump in the deep end. You're just trying to swim to the side, you know, just make it to the end of your set. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Seriously, dude. And just always know, the worse you bomb, the better the story is. That's it. When comedians sit around, we don't tell stories about killing. We sit around talking about the night we ate our balls in front of, I don't know, a bunch of Navy SEALs at a corporate party on a battleship or some dumb shit. I don't fucking know. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just grab the mic and fucking talk about what you think is funny, and if you bombs, just make fun of yourself and then tell people to go fuck themselves and say thank you, good night. That's my first set advice. All right, number 3. Hey, Bill, lately I've been flexing a ton of girth, and the flexometer in my house keeps going off. I think this is a vaguely sort of a dick joke here. Any tips for keeping my girth more stealth when I flex it? Maybe a stealth flex or a flex silencer. Any idea if these products exist, or do you have any other tips so that I can flex more quietly? I'm just trying to flex my girth more stealth, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got to stop wearing those fucking, you know, Joey Ramone jeans where people know exactly how excited you are. You know, I would go more with some 50 Cent, what is he, Rough Rider, whatever the fuck his posse's called. Yeah, just get some different jeans. Yeah, stop acting like you're in the Strokes, you know? Fucking loosen up your jeans, and you can have a full-on fucking Woody, and no one's ever going to know. Definitely do not wear sweatpants and or short shorts, you know? Sitting down also helps, especially if you're at a desk. Other than that, you and your girth are on your own. All right, you see this? You're new to my podcast? You like the wide variety of questions? Anyways, question number 4. Hey, Bill, do you think the media has ever treated Donovan McNabb fairly? I mean, the guy has put up great stats over the years and led his team to 4 NFC championships and 1 Super Bowl, yet every year he gets bashed for something. Why does the media go after the idiots of the league? Why doesn't the media go after the idiots of the league instead of players who stay out of trouble? I don't know. You know, I honestly don't know. I didn't know Donovan McNabb got more shit than usual. I know that fat jackass from the radio trashed him that one time, and I know T.O. gave him shit. But I always looked at Donovan that he was he's a professional. He handles his shit well, never throws a temper tantrum, and I don't know. It might have to do with Philly fans. You know, they got that short fuse. I don't know. You know something? I don't know. I never looked at Donovan McNabb like he was treated unfairly. You know? I guess he's just had a couple of really high-profile douchebags give him shit in a really bad way. And, you know, he handled it well. He never really lashed out back. He just was like, hey, you know, that's what they're doing. I'm going to go get some soup. You know? I don't know. That was the worst fucking answer ever. I have no idea. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. But thank you for asking. Thank you for thinking I actually could answer that question intelligently. And thank you for exposing me on how fucking ignorant I am on the whole Donovan McNabb crisis. Okay, question number 5. Hey, Bill, I've been listening to your podcast for about half year now. You should say about a half a year now. I don't think you've ever addressed this. Okay. What is that jerk off? Oh, this is the question. What is that jerk off / rapid tapping noise you make just after you make a salient point or a particularly funny joke? For some reason that sound grates on me like somebody raking their teeth on a blackboard. You know, I never listen to my podcast. I think it's just me laughing, and I have a shitty cell phone, so maybe it doesn't pick it up right. I have no fucking idea. But I'm sorry it grates on you like somebody raking their teeth on a blackboard. Jesus Christ, that's a fucking brutal image. All right, now I'm self-conscious. I won't ever laugh again during my podcast. Is that what you do, huh? You know, you walk around miserable and you try to suck the joy out of other people's lives. You know, I think it's time you might want to sit down in the mirror and, you know, take a little stock in yourself. All right, question number 6. I don't know what it is, dude. I have no idea. And I'm not going to look into it, so I don't know what to tell you. Question number 6. Hey, Bill, first off, great job on the podcast. I think it's cool that you're using this technology to spread more predictable mediocrity. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting trashed. Let me read that again so you guys can enjoy that pounding. That was funny. All right, first off, great job on the podcast. I think it's cool that you use technology to spread more predictable mediocrity than would have ever been possible 10 years ago. Guilty as charged, you fucking son of a bitch. Second, here's the question. When should I shave my head? I note that you have dealt with the old receding hairline by trying your damnedest to look like Billy Corgan. Jesus Christ, I'm getting roasted here. I suffer from the same affliction, and my plan is to sort of keep cutting it shorter and shorter until eventually take it to the scalp. My hairline is about 3.5 inches from my eyebrows now, and I'm using the number 4 guard on the clippers. Any suggestion? I think you got the right idea. You know what? And I applaud you for manning up, not doing that Rogaine crap, you know, or having some hair yanked out of the back of your scalp and stapled on top of your fucking head. You know, man up like fucking Telly Savalas. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, as it gets shorter and shorter, you just keep cutting it down. I don't know why guys go through all that. I've actually heard when people get hair plugs, it can actually still continue to fall out. And now you can't shave your head because you got this Frankenstein scar on the back of your head. This guy I know, who will remain nameless, he recently got a hair transplant. I never knew what the fucking difference between hair plugs and a hair transplant, but evidently a hair transplant, they literally cut a swath 1 inch long on the back of your head and take all that hair out, and that's what they use to put on top of your head. And I guess the skin on your scalp's a little bit loose, so then what they do with now that you got that 1 inch stretch of skin down the back of your head, they basically then push the skin together and then they sew it shut. And I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty fucking horrific when you can basically shave your head in about 3 minutes, you're done. It's over. And people look at you like, what the fuck, for 2 minutes, and then they can't remember you the other way. Unless you have a half-hour HBO special that reoccurs every fucking 6 months. Okay, anyways, this is the rest of it. He says, I've been listening to you since your first appearance on O&A, and I got to see you live in Houston, Atlanta. I like your comedy, and I'm pulling for you to blow up even bigger. Next time in your Atlanta, if you still want to know how to use a shotgun, I'll teach you what I know. Abso-fucking-lutely. See, that guy's a hot shit. See, that guy's an old-school guy. See what he did? He broke my balls, gave me a couple good jabs to the face, and he slaps me on the back. Hey, just fucking with you. I like your comedy. Let me teach you how to shoot a gun. Right there. I bet that guy eats in a steakhouse. All right, question number 7. Hey, Bill, I've been listening to your podcast ever since you did a show at Embry-Riddle, that shitty little aviation school in Arizona. I liked that place. I liked it. I was fascinated by the level of intelligence there that you guys actually literally had rocket scientists there, right? You guys understood about fucking aerospace, science, technology, fucking thing. I don't know what it was. I was blown away by it. God, I'm a moron. All right. You've mentioned that you're a big sports fan and that you have the NHL package. As a fellow hockey fan, do you feel the national coverage that pro hockey gets is fair? I see highlights on SportsCenter that last about 30 seconds. They'd rather talk about dumb, pointless shit like T.O.'s comments after a game and talk about it for 30 minutes or show pro bowling or women's college volleyball than give you pro hockey. More than a minute of their time. What's the deal with that? All right, there's a lot of questions in there. Let's see. Let's get back to these. Do I feel the national coverage that pro hockey gets is fair? Yeah, I do, because I think hockey is a rogue sport, and I like it like that. I like that it's not at the same level of disgusting exposure that hockey, baseball, and basketball are at. Because I think that those three sports suffer from them just trying to cross-pollinate and cross-promote and just make people who aren't into sports watch sports, and people who watch sports and don't give a fuck about the Jonas Brothers watch the Jonas Brothers play at halftime, or Britney Spears, or any of that other shit, or those dumb TV shows they try to promote during the games, just trying to have that orgy of horse shit that they always try to do. I can't stand that shit. So I like that nobody likes hockey. I really like it, and I like that people don't get why people fight in hockey. I love all of that shit. I just think it's a great fucking game, and I think it deserves to be up in Canada and in the northern part of this country. And people who get it, watch it, and those who don't can ask their same little faggy questions of, just so you know, the fighting. The fighting is so fucking great. Every other sports, there's such an unbelievable level of shit talking that you can get away with. Because the second people start throwing punches, your whole teammate jumps in. You know what I mean? It was like back in the day. If you had to fight some kid after school and you knew you were going to get your ass kicked, the best move you could make was start swinging in the hallways, because the teachers were going to run out and break it up before anything ever happened. And by then you're down the office and they say, if you guys fight again, we're going to fucking expel you. And now you got your out. That's what those other three sports are. You know what I mean? You ever see basketball players try to fight? They throw punches like they're trying to throw somebody out from the fucking warning track of Three Rivers Stadium. They throw like that Dave Parker overhand right. I saw Shaq do that. He threw it like I remember a long time ago. I saw Damon Wayans imitating a big black girl fighting, and that's the way Shaq threw a punch. It was pathetic, and he missed the guy, and he fucking missed him. I love hockey. If you're a cunt, you get the shit kicked out of you, and the guy only has to sit down for 5 minutes for the simple fact that he beat up a cunt. I don't understand why it's so difficult to understand. There's boxing. Boxing is a sport, and that is fighting. And hockey, part of the sport is fighting. That's a part of the sport. If you don't like it, watch diving or something else. All right, I totally got off track there. And also, something I like, I think ESPN doesn't show it because they lost their contract with the NHL. So they're kind of pissed about it. So they're like, fine, we're trying to have our little New World Order monopoly on all sports, and you don't want to play ball, so fuck you. We won't show your highlights. So instead, they show 9 hours of poker. Is anybody really watching that anymore? That shit was literally fascinating for like the first 6 months, and then, now I don't give a shit, with all their stupid nicknames and their little fucking stupid glasses. They call him Snake Eyes. He's out of Arizona, and he won fucking... I don't give a shit. Ed Moneymaker, or whatever the fuck they call themselves. It's gay. It's really gay. It's horrifically out-of-shape people, and I don't give a fuck if the river card's coming. So there you go. Did I answer your question? I don't know. I don't. Yeah, NHL will never get. NHL gets the level of exposure it fucking deserves. They've tried everything to get people into it. They remember when they had that little gay little fucking flame coming out of the back of the puck for people who couldn't see it. That didn't work. They've tried everything, and they should just accept the fact that they are, just be who the fuck you are. Stop trying to be fucking something for everybody. Those other sports, the NFL's annoying. I don't like how the NFL, they're trying to fucking deliberately make me get a dish because they keep showing cool games on Thursdays, and they won't show it to me unless I have a dish, I don't respond to terrorism. Just like this country, I do not respond to it. Go fuck yourself. I'm sticking with cable. Question 8. Bill, this is the last question, too, by the way. It's getting kind of long here. What is your opinion on the Christmas specials on TV? My wife is like, let's watch some Christmas specials. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to do my girl voice there. My wife is like, let's watch some Christmas specials. I can't fucking stand them all. I want to shoot Santa Rudolph and Tim Allen in the fucking head, but I don't say that because I want to stay married. Also, what is your favorite hockey memory? I'm a big hockey fan. Love the podcast. All right. What is my opinion of Christmas specials? I haven't watched them in 20 years, and I'm watching them this year because I'm trying to get into the spirit, and I'm actually enjoying them. Some of them are better than others. I like the one where Burl Ives sings "Have a Holly Jolly Christmas" as the snowman. I like that shit. I actually decorated my apartment. I went all out this year, so I don't mind them. But it depends on how annoying your wife is. If every 5 seconds she's like, "Oh my God, I love this one," then yeah, that would annoy the shit out of me. I know. I don't know, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Just fucking, you know what you do? This is what you do. You say, yeah, let's get into the Christmas spirit. You get some eggnog and you put a bunch of booze in it, and then you'll start equating the Christmas specials with boozing and not having to listen to your wife, and maybe you'll start looking forward to them. You know, you'll probably start, watching The Great Pumpkin in October. Okay. Now, wait, there was one other fucking question I didn't get to. Somebody sent me a really good question about the hype on Britney Spears. Where the fuck did I put that? All right. What's going on here? All right, let me read some overrated and underrated. Then I got to find this last question real quick. All right, overrated. Number one. And if you're new to my podcast, people send me in their list of shit that they feel is overrated and their list of shit that they think is underrated. All right, overrated. The BCS standings. Every year people complain and beg for a playoff system. Not even our president, now even our president-elect says we should have a playoff system. Do you ever think these rich pricks will allow it to happen? No, and I don't think they should have a playoff system, just for the simple fact that you can blow out your knee and end your career, and they're basically playing for free, other than bullshit money that they get from college boosters. Is that what they call them? No, I don't think they should play more games. I like that everybody gets all pissed at the end of the fucking year. There's 9,000 fucking teams. What do you want? They do the best they can. It works for me. I don't care, and I like that someone's always pissed in the end. Adds a nice level of controversy. I think they kind of have a playoff system with BCS. They just need to expand it to 4 teams. That's all. And if anybody complains after that, they can go fuck themselves. There you go. Problem solved. Actually, I'm going to the Rose Bowl this year. Not bragging, but I'm going. It's right up the fucking street. Number 2, NFL overtime. Person thinks this is overrated. How is it exciting seeing teams win it with a field goal in overtime? How bad a reader am I? I'm like, how is it exciting seeing teams win it with a field goal? I'm trying to read this more smoother. How is it exciting seeing teams win it with a field goal in overtime, or even tie like the Eagles versus the Bengals? They should take a lesson from college football and make their overtime just like theirs. It would be a lot more exciting. I don't know. I like that they're different. I really don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with college football or pro football. I just have a problem with the fucking NFL trying to make me buy a dish. But I guess it would be more exciting if they could have half a field and they just keep going at it. I don't know. I just think it gets back to that thing again. Now you're dealing with even older football players, and they could get the shit kicked out of them and blow out their fucking knee. I have no idea. You guys are really asking me a lot of fucking not too difficult questions, but for some reason I can't fucking answer them this week. Oh, wait a second. Where in God's name was this question this guy sent me? God damn it. You know what? I can basically paraphrase it. This kid was asking me, or this guy, this gentleman, or this female, I can't remember who wrote it, was basically saying, what's with all this talk about Britney Spears coming back? People are actually really buying into it. I don't understand what the big deal is. People were saying she's crazy. Just because you shave your head, it doesn't mean you're fucking crazy. So, I don't know. What do you think? It's like a big media ploy? I have no idea. All I know is that when I think somebody's music sucks, I don't care about their comeback. You know? Kind of like Madonna. Madonna has a couple of good tunes, but other than that, I don't understand what the big deal is. Granted, you got to give her credit. Every 5 years she comes up with a new way to fucking dress like a whore. You got to give her that. But I really think it's time for her to, put some more clothes on. Did I talk about that last week? Whatever happened to elegance? You know what I mean? Like, women in their 40s and 50s can be beautiful, but not if they dress like they're 18. Same thing with guys. There just comes that point where you got to stop wearing your Hulk Hogan fucking wife beater. You know, at that point, you got your fucking flabby grandmother arms. It's just not going to work out. People in their 40s and 50s need to wear more clothes. They need to look classy. That's what you're in your classy years. You're older. You're wiser. You know what I mean? You can't fucking sit there. It's weird because Madonna is in great shape, but like this, you're still 50. You're a shredded 50-year-old. Put on some fucking pants. Jesus Christ, get a skirt down to your knees at least. You know? I don't understand it. And like now that I'm on the subject of plastic surgery, I saw an interview the other day with her. You know, it's just I don't know what did she do to her fucking face. It was like you looked normal, and I don't get that. Like you look your age, okay? You looked 48 2 years ago, and now 2 years later, now you look like a 33-year-old alien. I mean, is that what the fuck? I don't know. That's basically they don't have it down yet. I don't know if you people have noticed. You know, with the plastic surgery, you want to get a tummy tuck or get your ankles enlarged or whatever the fuck people are doing. Any of that shit below the neck, I guess I can kind of understand it. But the face, they don't have the face down. I don't think they have the other shit down. It's just that when I talk to somebody, I don't stare at their fucking stomach. You know, but if they're wearing a half shirt and that's where their fucking mouth was, I would be looking at their stomach going, oh, God, why did they do that? I don't fucking know. So basically, what do you think about the Britney Spears thing? I honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about, people who basically, you walked around with no underwear on. Yeah, now the paparazzi follows you around. But even then, I don't even believe that. I think you fucking called them and let them know, hey, oh, my God, I'm going down to Starbucks, and I maybe forgot my panties. I like how, like, the fucking paparazzi gets this credit, like they have, like, this Pentagon ability. You know what I mean? Like, they're tracking her on her cell phone. They're not. They're a bunch of fucking, I don't know what the fuck they are. But I'm not buying it. Oh, you know what? Isn't this convenient? Here's a telephone call. And that's just when I was going to end the podcast. All right? Well, thanks for listening. And I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great week. And Merry Christmas. All right. Goodbye.